I just pushed go live.
Oh, well, thanks for the warning.
Yeah, just FYI.
Okay.
Quit picking your nose.
Right? Thank goodness it wasn't 5 seconds earlier.
Harry, know we were doing this?
I don't know. I didn't specifically say.
I'll text Mother.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody.
Yes, good morning. Okay, I'm going to try and get our chat going. It was such a good tip last time. Somebody said you have to say something in the chat yourself and that'll get things going. So I really appreciated that.
Well, but nobody, who last time in Grocery Girls put something in the chat?
I did. I said hello.
My God, so who knew?
That again. Oh, look, there's chat already.
Tracie.
So I don't know what's going on.
That is amazing. Good morning. Good morning.
That's so great for like, you know, like that's just another example in this community. Like we're all kind of in the same boat and these weird little glitches. Somebody's like, hey, I heard whatever. So try that. I love it. We don't actually have to be, let's just say our tech skills have not improved a whole lot since we started.
That's so funny.
Look at everybody's here. That's so nice. Good morning. Yay, chat. Ars Carson says, yay, chat. I feel like the YouTube mojo is good today.
Who would have known that glitch?
Well, I guess just watching other people that are doing the same thing, doing live Zoom things, right? So it wasn't just us, it was happening to other people too. So
that's
okay, I feel really cozy. You and I were both saying we were running around like crazy this morning trying to do other things first. But now that I've sat down, I feel really cozy and relaxed.
Yes, actually, I have to say that sweater is an amazing. I mean, your whole coloring, you're glowing this morning.
Oh my gosh, Jodi, did you? Thank you.
You know what I did? I can tell. Usually I put on this all over. It's almost like a barely tinted. It's not a BB cream. It's lighter than that. Like it's just barely, except I grabbed the wrong one this morning and I put on like, I think it was like, it's not full coverage, but it was real white.
Jodi, it looks good, whatever it is.
I put it on and I go, ooh, that's white. So I had to do a lot of bronzer to bring back my color because I looked like a corpse.
Well, you look really good now, whatever you've been doing. I think that's really funny because, I mean, I don't wear a lot of makeup, but before COVID, I would wear a little bit every day, like bronzer, a little concealer under the eyes, mascara, and like a very neutral eyeshadow and lipstick. So I like now, I so rarely leave the house to do anything. I feel like my mediocre makeup skills are gone. And I went to look at, I have one of those, like, it's like a tinted moisturizer. So it's like watered down foundation kind of. And I have one bottle of that. And I looked at it the other day. It's completely dried up. Like I haven't used it forever. It's so weird.
Oh no.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Let's say a few hellos this morning.
Let's. It's so sunny here right now. Don't you find?
I see Adela. I see Gregor. Hi, Gregor.
Oh, you're hilarious.
I see Patty Shanks. Thank you, Patty. Shout out, Patty.
I see Sue from Kelowna. I think Sue's in Kelowna, right?
I bet you it's gorgeous today.
Oh my gosh. Now they would be really into springtime in the gorgeous valley there.
Yeah.
So Norway. Oh, what time is it in Norway? Oh my goodness. Hello from Bergen, Norway.
Good morning, Star. Hello.
Do I look for crooked? I can't figure out how to make my iPad say straight. I don't know. Speaking of techie, like loser, no skills.
Duct tape.
Right? I'll just start leaning like that. As soon as it tilts, I'll lean and it'll all be good. I'm getting all these YouTube notifications, but
Fiona from Notting Hill. No, what? Nottingham, England.
Oh,
Nottingham, England. Yeah. Yeah.
I love seeing where everybody's coming to us from. I love
Hey,
that.
Zach in Atlanta.
Thank
Shout
you.
out Atlanta. Karen
Yes.
from Santa Cruz. Hi, Nancy, Boulder, Colorado. Oh, Boulder has part of our heart. We love it
Love
so
Boulder.
much.
Love Boulder. I
Oh,
saw
Azuki
our
in
friend.
Japan.
What?
Azuki in Japan.
Hello. Oh, Japan. Midnight. Wow. Thank you for staying up. Are you in
Gregor is in
insomnia?
Venice. Sorry, Venice. Gregor is in Venice,
What?
Italy.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah.
When we were scheduled to be spending a few days in Venice, that was when giant
Oh, it
flooding
flooded.
happened. The only thing
What
I've seen in
what are the
Venice,
odds? It's
the
already
only
flooded.
right? The only thing I've seen in Venice is a hotel by the airport and the airport. So I need a do-over badly.
Shout out Atlanta. Apparently, this is what you do instead. Shout out Atlanta.
Who said that?
Adela, she's probably making a joke, and I've just offended 30
You
million
fell for
people.
it. Hello from Pender Island off the coast of Vancouver.
Oh,
I'm just aching to go on a trip. I'm aching to just have a little few days away, even somewhere like Banff or Jasper, but boy, Pender Island or Galliano Island would be incredible.
that fills up your cup. A weekend away just gets
Yes.
you. Yeah.
I think maybe I'll have to try and make that happen. Even just here in Alberta where we can drive and do an Airbnb and be really safe. It's just, I would love it. It would be so nice.
Betty Yee is watching from her road trip to Arizona. Betty, keep your eyes on the road.
Betty, I hope you're the passenger and you get to knit all the time. I don't even want to
Yeah.
drive on road trips anymore. I'm
No,
busy.
and you know what? My husband loves road trips. He wants
Thank
to
goodness.
drive to Aunt Sarnia. I'm in.
Oh, you should. You should,
I'm
Jodi. Kind
totally
of an
in.
adventure.
Kind of take like 5 days and kind of go through the US route, because you either have, the way they are, you have to either, like, a direct line would cut off a ton of hours, but because you have to
Right.
either go the under the lakes or over the lakes, I think it would be gorgeous either way.
I would do that. Honestly, I would do that for sure.
Yes,
Get some
I would
snacks and some knitting and some music.
I
That
would
would be a fun
start
trip.
some scrappy socks and maybe a sweater, because then you
And a
have
hat.
two things. Of course, a hat, I guess that goes without saying.
But Jodi, a sweater is a great idea. I was actually thinking the other day I should use my advent calendar and do the Tanis Fiber Arts Rocket Tee, her original one that was in fingering weight and mohair, but just do stripes, fingering weight, or any fingering weight,
Yeah.
whatever. Wouldn't that be cute? A
Why?
short sleeve shirt?
Oh, anything. That would be amazing. I think you'd wear the shit out of that.
Right? And I've got all the, I mean, winding 24 minis, but whatever, you know, it'll happen.
Just sit in your kitchen and have something on, right?
Yeah,
No big deal.
I think that would be really fun. And I would think I would wear the heck out of that.
I was just going to say something in regards to that. Stripy socks.
Sarah
thing.
said she just drove 16 hours with 3 kids to Florida. Did you arrive with 3 kids? Because I feel like that's a challenge.
I feel like one might have been left on the road, but that's just me. That's just me.
We had neighbors. This is like back in the day when there's no iPads and we're all just got coloring and sticker books and we're in the back seat of a station wagon.
How did we manage?
I know our parents must have driven them crazy. But this family that lived a few doors down from us, they had a big van. They had 5 kids and they were on a road trip. And sure enough, they make a pit stop at a gas station for snacks and whatever. And they did leave one kid at the gas station for like
about an hour down the road.
Like,
am I exaggerating? I feel like it was about an hour.
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical though. That's really funny.
Yeah.
If you're not the kid, it's really funny.
Yeah. I feel like that's what we're going to do. Yeah. Oh my God. I would tell no one ever.
Oh, I'm sure the kid would be blabbing it to everybody that would listen.
Yeah. It was an elementary. It wasn't like a toddler. It was like a later elementary. I mean, it could fend for himself. if I'm honest.
Yeah.
It was only an hour that they were gone.
I don't really know how long it was, but it was, I'm I just don't even know what to say. That's crazy. Anyway,
Yeah.
once the whole like digital age came about, it's not so bad traveling with kids, really.
No.
If they've got a screen to watch or whatever, it's not as bad. You don't get to interact as much, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we were fortunate enough. We had the transition DVD player in our minivans.
Yes. Yes.
Before iPads, right? So our children still got, and we had like a library. Do you know like those zip cases where you take the CD out and put it? Tracie, I still have mine. I have hundreds of kids' CDs. Jodi, I should donate them.
If you can figure out where to donate DVDs.
Doesn't the Stollery take DVDs?
Yeah, I don't know, Joe. We'd have to ask. But let me tell you, that's one of the spring cleaning things I want to do is figure out where's a good place to. I don't want to throw them away, and I don't want to keep them. Everything is digital. It's on Disney Plus or whatever. But I don't want to keep a box of DVDs. But I would love for them to go somewhere that someone could really use them. So I would love to know where that is. So.
Yeah. Oh, Andrew just said, oh my God, Andrew, he remembers getting left at a video store on purpose as a lesson. Can we just say what Jerry did as a, do you remember what Mom?
Sure. I think we've told this before. You go ahead.
She had a day. She must have had several days leading up to this because this woman is tough. Like she can handle a lot. So she loaded the three of us kids up. Jerry's our mom. She loaded the three of us kids up and drove us to the police station and threatened to leave us there. Yeah. That's hilarious now.
That if we did not smarten up, this is where we would be going.
Like bawling in the car.
Oh,
thinking we're being taken and being left. We've
never forgotten it. We've never forgotten it. It's really, that's pretty hilarious.
I still talk to my therapist about it. No, I don't.
Right. I do remember too, I don't know what kind of party Mom and Dad must have been having because this is not the norm for us. They bought live lobsters. I'm assuming it was a New Year's Eve thing, probably,
this was
right?
In the old house.
This is when we were before our, like, well, maybe, but I could not have been 8 years old. The most I would have been 7 years old in this house at the most. But I do remember Mom, just for fun, I would have totally done this with my kids.
Totally.
You know, lobsters are ugly. And to a kid, they're kind of like a little monstery dinosaur thing. I remember Mom grabbing it and like shaking it at us. And I remember running through the house. And I can remember her laughing.
Tracie, I picture us in our twin bed room. You're in the corner of your bed and she's dying laughing with the lobster in her hands.
Can you believe it?
No, it's funny. Oh my God.
It's just like scaring your kids when they come out of somewhere. Like it's like a giant, hilarious thing to do. It's just me. It's not very nice.
I live for those moments with my kids. I haven't done the lobster thing, but I'm sure they can come up with a million stories where it's like, Mom, I can't believe you did this. I scarred what are therapists going to do if we don't continue to scar our kids?
Well,
right? They're going to need therapy well into adulthood.
Here's the deal. Parents are humans just like anybody else. And, you know, things that seem funny in the moment or desperate, like driving your kids to the police station. Hey, did it work? We were pretty good kids after that. I mean, we're all just human. These things.
For 5 minutes until I tap danced on the new car, the hood, with my tap shoes.
Okay, most of us behaved after that.
Okay, so let's, this is really fun going down memory lane. So good morning, everybody. We are super excited to welcome our guest, and I'm going to let her in and we can welcome her and introduce her at the same time.
Great. I'm so excited that Amy has some time to join us this morning. I've really been enjoying having the opportunity to chat with people and maybe learn
I don't know how.
things.
I'm not sure how we're going to do this when we actually are together in a room.
I know. Hello, Amy. I was going to say good morning, but it's good evening for you.
You look beautiful in your cranberry.
You sure do.
Thank you. I just finished weaving in the ends of this sweater. It's the first time I'm wearing it.
We're like witnessing a brand new sweater. I love it. It's beautiful. Do you want to tell us what it is?
Yes, this is the Darren sweater by Jacqueline Cieslak. She has a new collection coming out called Embody. And so I'll just stand up here so you can see it.
Sure.
Look at this. It like slopes down in the back.
Amy, it's adorable on you.
I will be knitting that.
Everybody has to knit this. I mean, this is my favorite.
I feel like
sweater.
this is really okay, before we get too far, I would love to properly introduce and welcome you to our show. So we would like to introduce Amy. If somebody doesn't know, this is Amy of La Bien Aimée, and she is coming to us from Paris this evening for her. Welcome.
Bonjour.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you so much for coming.
Sorry?
Thank you so much for having time to
Oh my God, it's my pleasure. I have to say, I started really listening to your podcast a whole bunch during the pandemic last year because I just needed something kind of normal. And I just love listening to you guys talk to each other just about normal stuff. And I was like, oh, this is really relaxing and nice. And I would just knit.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Thank you. It's nice to have something where we're just to like music in the background or something to make us feel at ease while we're crafting with all those hours, right?
Yeah.
We've been having so much fun having these little chats where we're calling them Maker Spotlight, but we're very nosy. We love to know. I feel like we all have these passions. Like we love yarn and we love hand knitting or crocheting or crafting or somehow, but it's one of my favorite things is to chat with people and find out how they got to that point, because it's pretty rare for someone to say, after school, I'm going to become this amazing yarn dyer and I'm going to open a tea shop and everything's going to be just wonderful. So is there any way you could share with us your sort of origin of this kind of life that you're living these days?
Sure. So I guess this will take me back to when I first moved to France. So I married my husband I married him twice, in 2001 and in 2003. Yes. So one time we had to get married so that we could actually be together in America. So we had like an administrative wedding. I think you call it like a civil service.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we had like the actual like church wedding with all of the family in 2003. So after our 2003 wedding, I moved to France and we were going to start our young life together. And before that in the US, I was working in marketing. I was using my French. I had graduated from the University of Kansas with a French degree. And when I moved to France, I could not find a job. It was just really hard for me to find a job and what I wanted to do. I kept having interviews and things were just not working out. And then something kind of tragic happened. My mom passed away suddenly. Oh. And she was the one who taught me to knit. And I kind of went into this like depression and started obsessed knitting and just became my way to kind of bring myself back. And when I was starting to come back to myself, I was saying like, man, maybe I could do something with knitting and have a business here in France. And by this time I had been unemployed for 2-3 years. And so that was a long time. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really hard on me. And I thought of this idea of opening a cafe where knitters could come and knit. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. And I mean, I don't know. I believe in like signs and things like that. And I just had my son and I was pushing him around my neighborhood. And we went to a cafe, an area where there's a bunch of cafes. And there was a cafe for sale. And it was like the perfect cafe. Like I saw it and I was like, I could see myself like inside knitting and like welcoming knitters and stuff.
It was done. It was done that day you saw it.
It was done. And like, I came home that weekend and it was funny. We went and had brunch with my friends, and my friend who had come with me, she was like, I told her, I was like, I think this is the place. And she was like looking around. She's like, this is the place. She's like, this is totally the place. And so we called, and the people who were selling were just really like enchanted with our story about how I wanted to turn it into like a knit cafe, that they were like, okay. So they wanted to sell to us. So we like quickly like scrambled to like get the bank loan and everything like that so that we could buy this cafe. I've never worked a restaurant job in my life, you guys. Like I I had never like worked as a server or anything, and I've never worked in service. And so I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And the previous owner was so nice that she just let me come and work for a couple months before she like passed the restaurant over to me, and just let me be there. And I learned everything from her, you know. And then I opened the cafe and I started just running the cafe. And then I started slowly bringing in all my favorite hand-dyed yarns that I would squirrel away in my suitcase, you know, when you travel and you buy like beautiful yarn. So I was like, I started out with Lorna's Laces. I had Sweet Georgia, Koigu, you know, these are all these brands that I would buy and then bring over. And so then I was like, I'm going to sell these in my shop. And so that's how I started Oisifté in 2000. So I started the year after my son was born. So that was 2008.
So what
is it still
now
open? Sorry.
What
Is
does
it
that
still
mean
open?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, it's still open. Well, right now it's closed because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's very complicated. In Paris, most restaurants are closed right now.
Yeah.
So we we have like furloughed like one employee, but all the other employees had just kind of quit and kind of moved on, like moved back with their parents and things like that. We employ students.
Yeah.
Things like that. And so generally like Oisifté is closed now. And we're hoping to open it again soon. We'll see.
Yeah.
I might remodel and open it into something different. So we'll see.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So did you start having knit nights and like little tea get-togethers? And so how did that go from a tea shop was it a corner of yarn or was it a lot of yarn? How did that look?
It was like a corner, like literally just like one little, like a doorway's width of yarn. And it just started kind of going around the wall. And then after like 5 or 6 years, it was like every little nook and cranny had yarn in it for sale. And I started pretty much like 3 or 4 months after I opened the cafe hosting a weekly knit night. It started on Thursday nights and then we shifted over to Wednesday nights pretty quickly. And every Wednesday night was knit night at Oisifté. Like
busy. Was it busy?
It was busy. It was full pretty much every evening. We had 22 seats and there would be like 22 knitters in there knitting every Wednesday night. And it was wonderful.
So would you say that the hand knitting culture in Paris is very good, like very alive and well? It's such a big city with such a mix, I would think.
Well, I have to say that I've had Oisifté for 12 years now. And I've seen it progress. In the beginning, it was mostly foreigners who came to my knit night. And then I had a few local ladies who came. And I've seen it kind of evolve a little bit. Definitely now, I would say the French knitters are very much aware of what's going on in the rest of the world with knitting. They're on Ravelry. Back in the day when I would talk about Ravelry, first of all, Ravelry is really hard to say in French. It's like Ravelry. And so when I would say it, people would be like, what are you saying? What is this word? It doesn't even exist in the French language. And so first I'd have to explain it to them and everything. And then like, I don't know, a few years ago, Ravelry was translated into French, which made it much easier.
Oh, that would have been a big deal.
Yeah, and that made it so that French knitters, I could show them, I was like, look, you click on this little flag and it translates into French. And then at least my clients were ready to go on Ravelry. So yeah.
I love that.
So Amy, so you have a tea shop, you started bringing in yarn, life is going well. How did it then go to La Bien Aimée?
Well, after I ran out of room to bring in any more yarn. So the last brands that I kind of brought in were Brooklyn Tweed and Quince & Co. And I kind of was like, I don't have any more room to bring in yarn. And I was really looking for something kind of new on the market. And so I was looking for an indie dyer, but then after a while I was just like, maybe I could try to make my own yarn. I always had this idea that I wanted my own yarn. And so that's when I would say late 2014, we started making the plans to start a yarn company. And like I said, it was like a sign. Walking around the neighborhood with my colleague Hero, there was a place that went up for sale, and it used to be an old photography studio, like black and white photography. So I can't even tell you how perfectly it was set up to become a dye studio. There was water, there was infrastructure. I mean, the low counters. I mean, like we walked in, we didn't have to do any construction. We like, literally came in and just started dyeing. And after that, I was like, this is a sign, I'm going to try. I knew for sure that we could not have a sustainable business dyeing from home. That wasn't going to be possible. Like we needed an actual studio.
Right.
And the front part of the boutique was just a boutique for selling, like, I think he sold film and like paper and things like that. And so it became like a teeny tiny boutique where I started selling La Bien Aimée. And that
Are you still there?
No, we've moved.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we moved. So, yeah.
So are your two locations very far apart in Paris, or is it easy for you to kind of just get to either one?
They're in walking distance. Literally, you can walk in 9 minutes from the cafe to the yarn shop. We have like a little map that we give clients. So when they say like, oh, I want to go to the cafe, and we're like, we'll call over and reserve a table for them. And then they can like walk over and have like coffee or brunch, or we have a ball winder there. There's knitters there all the time. They go over and wind their yarn that they just bought at Oisifte or at La Bien Aimée and go over to the cafe and have a coffee. And so, yeah.
That sounds like the dream weekend. Hey, Jode, head to Paris.
Yeah.
Do all of these fun things. I know when you were doing your lives from your dye studio, I was so struck by like the amount of natural light you guys have in your studio, all those big windows. It really does look like the most beautiful place to be creating all these colors.
We're really lucky. Our current location is kind of like an artist's house. They call it Maison d'Artiste in French. And it's like the mayor of Paris has set up these places where artisans can come together and work. And so we're in a building with a bunch of artists. So like downstairs, there's someone who's like ceramics. There's a woodworker in the building. So like us making noises and smells is completely normal to them. They wouldn't even think twice about like the wet sheep smell that sometimes can happen here.
That's hilarious.
And the way the building is set up is that they just have windows all the way around. And so we just decided when we moved into this space, what side has the most sunlight. That's where I wanted to put the dye studio, because it was really important for us to have a lot of natural light to work in. And pretty much everybody here has like access to natural light. So it's really nice.
That's awesome. When you were growing up and through your school and stuff like that, were you doing crafty things at all? Like your mom taught you to knit, which is amazing. That's such a beautiful connection that you'll have forever. I love that. Is that your main craft, or were you doing other things too?
I started with cross stitch. That was the first thing that my mom taught me. And after a while, I was little. I think I was 7 when she taught me. And I remember being pretty young and saying like, will you teach me to knit? You know, I watch her because she would always be knitting. My mom, I'm the oldest of 5 kids. And so my mom was constantly knitting us sweaters and hats and scarves and things like that. And now that I'm a mom, I understand the way she reacted when I asked her. She was like, I'll teach you later, but I'm going to teach you this. And so she taught me how to weave in the ends to things.
Oh, nice, Mom.
Yeah, because I knew that, and now I know because I'm older, it's because she was so fast at knitting things, like just sitting down to finish things. Like we were growing so fast that she didn't have time to finish half the things. And so she showed me how to weave in the ends. And I remember her teaching me how to do mattress stitch on 2 seams of a sweater. You know, and I did it with a big needle, and she was like, you need to go back and forth. I can still hear her saying it to me in Korean, back and forth, you know, and so I would do that for her. And then after that, she taught me to knit.
I love that. Kind of like you're paying your dues to earn the craft. I think
so.
Are you the only sibling that knits?
No, I am proud to say that my sister, who is, so I'm number 1. So there's Elizabeth, who's number 2. Erin's number 3. She knits. Harrison's number 4. And William, who's number 5, he knits.
Wow.
So there's 3 out of 5, but we're starting to convince the other 2 to knit too.
That's fun. So awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think it's going to happen.
I think so. I feel like with enough family, like peer pressure, you guys can get everybody knitting.
You can have your own knit-alongs.
Right?
We do. Actually, on the weekends, we have like Zoom knit alongs. We have a little Zoom
Oh
group
my
and we'll
God,
be
I
like,
love it.
anybody want to knit? And we just like log on to Zoom and we don't even talk to each other. We'll just be sitting there knitting. And my brother, who's, he says that he's the least experienced, but he's the most adventurous. But he can
Oh.
ask us questions. And, you know, with Zoom, it's so great. You can like share screens and stuff. So I'll go and
Yeah.
find a tutorial on YouTube, throw it up, and we'll watch it together. And then we'll try it together. It's really fun.
That is what I miss about knit nights and knitting circles and stuff like that. Just that conversation as you're working on your own thing about, you know, hey, I saw this new way to cable without a needle, or I saw a whatever. And you always seem to come away from those community sort of gatherings with something new and fun and sort of the bud of a friendship of someone that already is passionate about what you're doing. And I love it. I miss those kinds of gatherings a lot. But not long ago, you invited us to your Bien Aimée virtual knit night, which was so fun. So I hope everybody now knows about that and we'll have a chance to pop in and do that with you because it was tons of fun. But we sort of touched on something called, where we were talking about color as therapy, like color, you know, the way color makes us feel or the colors that we choose and why we choose them. And you said that you've been thinking about that for quite a while now. And honestly, it's been on my mind ever since we kind of talked about it.
I don't know if this is an actual thing. I just use color as a way of therapy. Last year during the pandemic, the lockdown in March was super jarring for me. Like it was so hard.
Yeah.
And before, okay, so I there was something that happened before that. I wore all black. Like literally, if you saw me at events, you guys would probably see me in my classic black, you know, black linen dress is pretty much what I wore all the time. And it was my way of just not having to think about getting dressed in the morning. You know, it's kind of like a uniform. And the pandemic happened and my best friend was talking to me about this brand that I wear. So this is called Ace and Jig. And she was like, you should give it a try. You know, she's like, she would always talk about how happy it made her feel to wear the clothes and to wear that color. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a go. So I bought a dress and then I started wearing my knitwear with it. And I was like really motivated in the morning to get dressed and only put on that one dress all the time.
Yes.
Over and over again. And I realized that like I was happy when I was wearing color, like more color. I knit with color. I mean, you can see all my samples and stuff. I knit with tons of color, but I was only wearing black. And so I challenged myself not to wear black anymore. So I like folded up all my black dresses and put them in a suitcase and zipped them away and was like, I'm not going to wear these anymore. And I started buying color and buying any color I wanted. You know, I'm one of these people who says that you can wear whatever color. There's not a color you cannot wear. I think that everybody can wear whatever color they want. And so I started mixing colors and I joined this community for Ace and Jig, and they're super welcoming. And it's like so inspiring to see like people wearing color. And it gave me lots of ideas actually for colorways and just like, I mean, honestly, I knit this sweater to wear with this dress.
Oh,
isn't that awesome?
So yeah. And so that was my way of also.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say it was also my way of motivating myself to get dressed every day during the pandemic, because you know how easy it is to stay in your pajamas all day long and, you know, not get dressed. And then I started taking selfies with my daughter. It was really fun. There was a while there, she was into it as well. And so we would like wear matching outfits and we would just, it was such a happy time. And so that's why I call it like color therapy, because it really helped me lift my mood. So, yeah.
I totally believe the same thing. And I feel like I can relate so much to what you're saying, because if I had to put all my black things away in a suitcase, I would have very little left in my closet. I'm the same way. I feel comfortable. I feel like black maybe camouflages parts of me that I don't really want shown a lot. I don't know. I feel like it's a whole psychological thing. And that's probably why I chose all this. I mean, I like the way it's cohesive where you wear all this black, but honestly, I do love the punch of color with it too. So, and even when I'm knitting, like I love to wear gray, like you're investing time and money and all this stuff. So I think I'm not going to knit a neon whatever, because how often can I wear it? I want to knit something I can wear all the time. And I feel like I've gone past that to like, I have a fuchsia sweater and I love to wear it. And it does make me feel a certain way when I put it on. Like, I just feel like your moods, just like scents, you know, like scents can make you feel a certain way. I think colors absolutely make my day, or and you feel so good in them, and you never know how it's going to make you feel unless you try. Hey, Joe?
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know, Amy. I don't know if I could put the black away. I can maybe shift it down in my closet, but I totally, you know, it's funny. I get compliments on when I wear color, because I do wear so many neutrals.
Yep.
So
I do too.
And to have something in this last year, because we're coming up on we're here at the year, and Amy talked about it over this last few months and said, you know, something that just shifts your mood. Like you needed things to look forward to. You need, you know, to have the colors that make you feel good. I mean, no one's more surprised than me that I have a home business and I get dressed every day. I thought I'd be one of those ones that was in my pajamas all day, but the idea of putting on something that makes you feel happy, things to look forward to, is all just so positive.
I agree. Absolutely.
I think so too. So do you have, I feel like when I think Amy and La Bien Aimée, I think of that beautiful yellow brick road color. And I know you've knit so many sweaters in it. Would you say that you have a favorite color, or like if you had to narrow it down to a few because some horrible thing was going to happen and you could only keep 3 colors? What are the ones that you were like your go-to me, Amy colors?
Well, obviously when a design comes out, I always imagine it in yellow brick road first, always. And then I get really inspired by designers' choices. And so sometimes I'll see a color that I was like, oh, I would never wear that. Like green. Like honestly, green was a color that I kind of avoided all the time. And then I made this color called Yona.
I love,
which I love. It was like one of the first greens that I was like, I'm in love with this green. And then I started knitting sweaters in this green and I started wearing it. And honestly, I get more compliments when I wear my green sweaters than I do when I wear my yellow sweaters.
Really?
And I don't know why that is, but that was a sign for me. I was like, maybe this is a good color for me. And then honestly, that's when I like just shifted and I said, I can wear any color that I want. And so sometimes when a designer uses a color that I never would have chosen for a sweater, I knit the same version.
Just to see.
So, and like recently there was the Tiff Nealon release in Nymeria, which is a color that I absolutely love. It's super neutral and I'm into neutrals, but this one's like really neutral. And I was like, I kept thinking about colors. I immediately thought I'm going to make this in yellow brick road, which would have been stunning and expected from me, I think. And so I wanted to challenge myself to like, let's make a super neutral sweater. And you know what? This sweater goes with all of my dresses, like everything. Yeah.
Well, so I love the dresses and the beautiful prints that you've started wearing now. I feel like they just seem to suit you. They just seem to be so, I don't know. Do you love it? Do you feel like now you would just feel crazy, like just so different if you put on your black again? Well,
I did just buy a black dress recently because I wanted something a little bit more fitted. But I do have to say that I feel like I'm 43, that I found my style.
Isn't that
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, the last time I had style, I guess I want to say was like Kurt Cobain was still alive and I was wearing like baggy jeans and my dad's flannel shirt, you know, tied around my waist. I was in high school. Yeah. That was the last time that I felt like I had style, like wearing Doc Martens and Birkenstocks and just oversized jeans. And that was like my look. And then since then I was like, I kept trying all these other things. And I was like, I don't know, this kind of works for now. But now wearing all these colorful dresses and just mixing textiles that where you would think, oh, that's going to clash, but actually it doesn't.
It totally doesn't.
Yeah. Is yoga pants and a hoodie a style?
I don't know, but I do wear those. I have to say Sunday is kind of yoga pants and sometimes yoga pants on the bottom and like an ace and jig thing on the top.
That's cute.
So, do you consider yellow brick your signature? Because that's what you like your storefront. Was that your favorite color when you opened? Like,
no.
Or you just,
Was that just
you just loved the yellow?
I didn't love yellow. Actually,
Oh.
before I decided to make Yellow Brick Road my signature color, I hated the color yellow. I know, right? Can
That's
you believe
great.
I'm saying that? I'm half Korean, and growing up, I got teased so much. They would call me yellow. Why is your skin so yellow? And so I always just shied away from yellow, you know. And I remember hearing people saying, oh, if you wear yellow, it's going to make you look sallow, or it's going to make you look more yellow. And so I was just like, and I was young. And then when I started dyeing, I was like working through all the colors, and then we get to yellow, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want yellow to have this stigma anymore. And we made Yellow Brick Road. And also Yellow Brick Road is a wink back to my home state of Kansas, Wizard of Oz. I grew up watching this movie. And for me, it was like my way of claiming this color back and saying like, I love yellow. I started wearing it and it made me feel good. It made me feel powerful. Yeah. And so I painted my shop yellow. I think I have a photo where I did some swatches and I was like swatching pink and turquoise and gray, obviously, because in Paris, everything is gray, and then yellow. And then I stood back and I looked at it and I took a picture and I was like, it has to be yellow.
It's gold, isn't it? It leans so gold and yellow. It's so beautiful.
Aww,
that is such a powerful story, Amy. And it's amazing how things stick when we hear them at such a young age, when we care so much about what people think of us. And I just feel like that moment, I mean, I wish that for everybody, that moment as adults, when we decide that what we think is more important than what others think of us, right? And to do something like to conquer that color. I'm not kidding you. To me, I didn't see many people wearing this bright yellow before you. You're the first one of the ones that I noticed myself. I am definitely going to be knitting myself a yellow sweater, and I will think of you the whole time because it is such a joyful color. I had bought this like just at the mall. I bought this kind of cottony sweater in a bright yellow, and I've since kind of ruined it, like stained it or something. But every time I wore it, people would be like, wow, that's totally your color. And it was kind of bright. Like it was super kind of almost neon-y bright. And I just thought to myself, same thing. I could never wear a color like that. Or boy, like I don't want to walk around like some light bulb where it's, I don't know. I just think color is therapy, and it does make us feel a certain way. And I love reaching sort of out of the box of that sort of thing.
Amy,
same for me. Yes.
Do you have a new base to show us? Do you have something to sneak peek us?
I do have a wonderful.
We love a sneak peek.
I know. I prepared something special for this sneak peek. So I did a live a couple weeks ago, and I have been testing a new non-superwash fingering weight base. I had showed this in a live. I think it's still up, and I swatched it. So this is our new base. It's called Twist Nouveau. Nouveau means new in French. And we've been test dyeing on it. So most people may know that non-superwash bases react differently than superwash bases. And so we have to test all our speckling styles, and some of our colors just absolutely don't work. So we won't dye those colors on there. But I was so happy to see that your colors, so this is Jasper.
Oh, it's perfect. I knew it would behave.
What?
And Sienna. So it's really soft and melty. And the speckles are the most delicate speckles that you have, but it comes out so beautifully.
It's gorgeous. What's the fiber content in that? Are you allowed to?
It's a 20.5 micron merino.
Okay.
Merino wool. So it's a white
so
base.
How does it behave differently? How are you seeing it behaves differently, Amy?
Well,
just for us people who don't understand, like without going into, too much technical.
I won't go into too many details. Yarns that take speckles really well. So like, I'll show you this sock that I'm knitting right here. Like this colorway, we would not be able to do on Twist Nouveau. This is a superwash base. Usually through the superwash process, you can understand they kind of remove the scales on the outside of the yarn and they put a treatment on it. It makes the yarn machine washable. It also makes it great to dye because it takes the color really well. Non-superwash yarns don't have this treatment on it. So all the scales are there and they're all up and awake. And so when you dye on it, it just takes the color and brings it right into the channel of the yarn, right into the core of the yarn. And so it'll spread it out. So like all the speckles look really soft on here, and they'll spread out through the strands. And that's just because those channels of wool are just open and they absorb the yarn in. Also, it takes longer to dye sometimes, like just to have the yarn to dye exhaust and things like that. So we've had to like tweak our style and try new things, but yeah.
Well, it looks amazing. Do you have
when is that available? Sorry.
So this is going to, well, right now I don't have a date because we are having some issues getting base in because of Brexit. I'm thinking that it should be probably ready around my birthday. So that's May 20th. So maybe it'll be like a nice little birthday surprise that I'll put online. Our stockist in Japan, Walnut and Mirisu, they will be carrying this. So they'll be my stockists who will exclusively be carrying this base as well. So
that's it. They're the only ones. Wow.
They're the only ones for at least for the first year that we release this base. And then we will be selling it as well through our online store.
That is really exciting. So yesterday when we put up an Instagram post, we asked if anybody had any questions for you. Is it okay if I ask you a couple of those?
Sure.
Rose, who has Akara Yarns here in Canada, she does beautiful yarn. She was wondering if you had any, like a business tip. She said, what is the key to running a business, or maybe just a little tip for someone doing their own independent yarn business? That's a
if you're starting out, I would recommend knowing the exact costs of everything that you're purchasing and selling. Also, don't forget to factor in the time that you dedicate to working for the product. A lot of things that I see sometimes with like new dyers is they don't price their yarns high enough, to cover things. Also, if you want to try to grow your business, so this is something that I tell lots of dyers is like, you need help. You need help to grow your business. You can't grow your business by yourself. You're gonna have a straight line to burnout, and things like that. It's too hard. So, and someone gave me that advice too. In the first year, I was struggling. I was having lunch with a friend and she said to me, she's like, Amy, you need to hire somebody. And that's what I did. And what I did is like, I just didn't pay myself and I just paid that person. And I was able to grow my business so that I could actually go back to paying myself again, have another employee and actually hire another one, And so you just have to kind of take the leap to do that.
That's a great tip. That is a great tip, to not burn yourself out to that end.
Yes.
And so there's so many people that are fans, as are we, of your, is it Miyazaki colors?
Yeah.
And they're wondering if there's going to be another one because those other ones are so beautiful.
There will be another one. I was working on it probably at the end of last year. It takes me a really long time to finish collections. And actually, I don't like to say finish collections because this week something unexpected happened. I have 11 Game of Thrones colorways and we just made 2 more this week.
You're gonna have some real happy people.
Oh, you guys, and they're really amazing. And there's even 2 more in the works coming. So sometimes I go from like one collection where I'm working on it and then poof, I'll have an idea for a colorway. And I've always wanted, I'm not going to say the names of these colorways yet because I want to announce it, but I've been working on this colorway for at least 3 years in my mind.
No way.
And then this week, the stars were aligned and it just worked.
Isn't that great? My husband and I, in this whole coronavirus thing, we rewatched Game of Thrones, and I was knitting this little pattern with Sansa, and I said to my husband, "Oh, Winterfell! Oh my God, I should show you all these yarn colors that are all like Game of Thrones based." And he was like, But you did such a beautiful. I mean, that collection's amazing. Don't you think?
That collection's going to be re-released before I release the next Miyazaki colorway. So, but I'm not done. I have lots of ideas for the Miyazaki collection, at least 10 colors. So it's going to come.
Holy. So we're in good, where that's fine. So we just have to be patient. Because they're coming.
They're coming.
Yeah. And I feel like there was a lot of people wanted to know how you started your dyeing and how did you start your business. So you shared all of that already with us, which was so generous. I love, that's one of my favorite things, meeting people in this industry, is hearing like how they started and how did they get here. And so there's so many different ways that it happens for everyone. I love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Amy, before we say goodbye, I would just like to say that we met for the first time, the three of us, at Rhinebeck in 2017, very quickly at that crazy show that they call
crazy.
Indie Untangled.
That was nuts.
I was scared. I was like, whoa.
Me
the amount
too.
of people, it was crazy. I hid in a corner and we didn't come out for 4 days.
Me too.
I was very sweaty, super sweaty, like it was so hot.
Yeah. And then this past year when we, this past fall, when we got together with your brainstorm to develop colors with us, getting to know you, it's been truly a pleasure to now call you a friend. And we just want to thank you truly. We were so looking forward to having you and chatting with you, because we didn't know your knitting story. You've probably told it several times, but we were excited to share and chat with you today.
Well, thank you for having me. Like I said, I watch your podcast, and I think I say it all the time. It's like sitting down with a couple friends and knitting, and listening to you guys talk. It's really nice. Even my husband likes to listen to you guys talk.
Oh.
So that's so sweet.
Can you just remind all of our viewers really quickly, sorry, when is your next knit night if people want to join?
So let me just pull up my calendar here because I don't want to say the wrong day. I think that we're going to have it on March 26th, Friday, March 26th.
Okay. So that's coming up.
Sounds great. Well,
and we have some special guests coming. Am I allowed to announce them on your roll?
I would love that.
Okay. We're going to have Malia and Steven from Steven and Penelope joining us. And Aiden from Undercover Otter. She's a dyer, an Amsterdam-based dyer. And my designer spotlight will be Sylvia Watts Cherry. So she'll be joining us. That sounds
so great. I had so much fun. I said to Jodi when that was over, that was one of the most enjoyable times through this whole crazy pandemic. I knit several inches on a sleeve. You got to chat with people and meet new people and discover a new designer. It was so much fun. So I hope people make a reminder for themselves, and even if they can just pop in for a while and relax with other
and just relax and knit and just hang out and listen to us talk. Yeah, that would be so much fun. So
it was fantastic. And I have to echo everything Jodi said. It's crazy making friends halfway across the world through Zoom screens, but it is such I just can't wait until we can see you in person again. And it's been such a treat to make a new friend and have fun with color that we've had with you. And it's just been a true joy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Enjoy your day.
I will. Bye.
Goodbye. Bye.
Wow, so much fun.
Good
so
Lord.
Great.
Could she be cuter?
No, she can't be cuter. She's fantastic. And I just love those conversations. We have so much in common and yet different experiences. And that's what I miss. I miss getting together with people, and I hope people are enjoying these conversations that we're popping into our knitting videos now, because it's so totally selfish. We're just dying to talk to people.
I love it so much.
I'm so grateful.
Okay, is your iPad centered so
Jodi?
it can balance?
I know
you're having trouble. I know you're having trouble with some sort of tightening, but is it at least centered on where it's being held so you can kind of balance it better?
Just a sec. I'm just going to go behind and see if I can tighten something. It's never happened before.
You know what struck me? I mean, she's so well spoken. In these last several months, getting to know Amy and getting to actually collaborate and work together, she is a boss lady. And I mean that in the most complimentary terms.
Oh, she's just, yes, like hardworking business lady, right?
Yes. Yeah. You know what also struck me today was her porcelain skin and her beautiful hair that frames her face so perfectly. Anyway,
Yeah.
I didn't want to gush and make her
I
embarrassed.
agree.
But
I agree, Jodi. The
yeah.
picture that I stole off of her Instagram and put on our
Yes.
Instagram, I just think it was the most joyful, beautiful photo.
Yeah.
I think she's, you know, a
She did.
wonderful, wonderful person.
She did look like that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to adjust now. I didn't want to do this. Amy, just a minute. Amy, just a minute. It's not quite right.
Oh my gosh, Jodi, can I just say my arm is like
No,
shaking?
that's so frustrating
Such a
for you
loser.
because no. When you
Little
have that
embarrassing.
issue and you can see that you're falling.
It's never happened before. And obviously something is loose. I tightened it up. I feel like we're good now. Goodness gracious. I mean, it would have been nice to get that
Great
done.
balls of fire.
Holy moly. Okay.
Another maker spotlight in the books.
So how lucky that she made time for us, because I know how busy, and all of these people are so busy. So thank you. Thank you.
Dinner time.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they eat really late in Paris. They sure did when we were in Italy. Like it would be nowhere near dinner time at 6 o'clock.
Right.
Look at your cute hair. You look so cute, Jode.
Tracie got a new haircut. She had a new stylist.
It doesn't look much different, Jode.
Yes, it is different.
It feels
it's
different
adorable.
because she added all these layers.
No. I can tell it's still got the length, but she went up in the back. You're almost to one. It's adorable.
Well, thank you. It felt really good. I feel like it's crazy too, because she's a girl that we knew of going to high school. She's a few years older than us. We didn't really go to school with her, but grew up in the neighborhood. You know, they're a 3-generation family business, hair salon. So it's kind of cool that they've moved back to the neighborhood, their salon. So it's really fun to go to her. It was really fun.
It's kind of the same familiar family. Familiar. What's that word? Like their story and our story, but just different professions. Like we're groceries, their hair.
Yeah. Yes.
They're from the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I love it so much.
And I mean, growing up, our parents, when my mom would buy our clothes, yes, she would go to like Woodward's or Sears or whatever, but always focus, like she would go to this family owned store called Jack and Jill, and it was a family in the neighborhood. Like frequenting and supporting family business has always been really important to us. Yeah. So, because we appreciate it as our family. And of course, it just means a lot to know that this family that you're supporting, instead of a giant corporation sometimes, right? So
I feel like that translates to knitting, like our store, and they're considered small business.
Yeah.
Right. I think kind of like independent, not chains, not big corporations. They're small, independent, one family businesses. So
it's not a chain. Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
Okay.
Anyway, that was really fun.
I just want to quickly touch on the fades. So I think by the looks of it, I think the update for the La Bien Aimée fades went really, really well. I'm sorry if not everyone got what they were looking for, but I just also want to say this. We want everybody to participate who wants to participate. And that doesn't mean buying brand new yarn.
Right.
We understand that La Bien Aimée is for a lot, a treat yourself yarn.
Huge. And I mean, for us, the Canadian dollar is not a friend to anyone. And, transferring to euros or whatever, not a friend. Yeah. So it makes it really hard.
Yes, exactly. So we want to make sure everybody feels included.
I agree.
And not any less worthy because of the yarn you choose. Please join when you're marling. It doesn't have to fade. It can be completely random colors. Yeah. We want it from your stash. We want it brand new. We want it however. We just want you to participate.
I totally agree. It's so funny, Jodi, because you and I did not talk about this, and this is on my list of things I wanted to address today too. The whole point of the knit along is it's a community thing. We're all stuck at home. It's been a long time. If you're anything like us, you're craving togetherness and a little bit of joy. And so this knit along is great for that. I hope people are stash busting or supporting your favorite local dyer. And if people are really in love with Jasper and Sienna, I totally get that. You can use that as your top color if you want. You can buy a couple
You can
of
use
skeins.
one.
Yeah,
One or two.
whatever, you can make it work. You don't have to get the whole fade because you love that one color. Starting next week, you're going to be able to purchase individual skeins of those colors. So don't feel like it's it's not going to happen that way. But yes, stash bust, add two fingerings together, make a swatch. It literally is the most fun swatch you're ever going to knit. So we're talking about the Comfort Fade cardigan by Andrea Mowry, and that's going to be a knit along starting March 19th. And we're going to have a cast on party right here on the YouTube channel on Zoom. So if you want to join that, we're going to, in our newsletter and on our website, we will have the Zoom information. And you can just join. You can just come set it along. Yeah.
Is it Zoom? It's going to be YouTube Live. No, it's not.
It's going to be a Zoom thing. It can be all of that. It can be Zoom and live. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There could be it could be a meeting with all of these people, just like a knit night.
Oh yeah. So whoever wants to join with Zoom can, or whoever just wants to watch the YouTube Live as it happens.
Or later. Because it'll be on the channel.
Because okay, good. Oh yeah.
So if you are planning to knit along and you want to join the Zoom, Andrea Mowry, the designer of the cardigan, will be there. Amy, who we just had a visit with, Bien Aimée. She's also selling beautiful fade kits. Over the years, they've made, I think, at least 10 different fades from this pattern and their yarn. So those ladies will be here and you can share your yarn or just, ask a question if you'd like. It's just supposed to be fun. It's just supposed to be a fun get together. Yeah. No matter what yarn you're knitting.
We don't want anyone feeling excluded or left out. You know us. Whoever wants to join should join.
Yeah. We had
whatever yarn. Yeah. With whatever yarn you want.
100%. Always. Can I just say that's not just for this knit along? It is for every knit along. Yeah. If you are buying your yarn at Michael's, or wherever, it doesn't matter. We would never in a million years think, I would never think anything different. Yeah. It's all about joining and it's all about community. So that thread is up in Ravelry if you wanted to chat with it. There's actually some really fun.
We have moderators. We have two moderators.
Star and Carson are helping us out with that. And there's so many people that have knit the Comfort Fade cardigan and they have tips. And so when we get to our Zoom knit night, I have questions for Andrea Mowry about it's quite a slim sleeve. My arms are not slim. Things that would be maybe tips and tricks.
I have flaps. I have arm flaps. Does your sleeve account for that?
There are things you could do. You can pick up extra stitches or increase your needle size just to make the bigger. But I feel like these are all great questions. And I think they're all going to help us on our journey of knitting a cardigan. Yeah. I'm super excited. Thank you for bringing that up, Jodi. That was one of the things I wanted to share today too.
Grocery Girls website will be offering just Sienna and just Jasper on 4 different bases starting next week.
Yeah.
And once we sell out, because we didn't know how much to buy, I think our numbers are way too low. We panicked, right? We got ooh, what if no one? Anyway, we're going to do a pre-order. So you're going to get your yarn from us if you want it from us.
As long as people want it, we will order it. Do you know what I mean? Yes. Of course, it's art. We want you to have what you want. We're very excited to be offering them. I myself, I have to knit something in Sienna and the stock mohair combo.
You need a sweater.
Joe, it's like a must. But I would also love a Jasper too. So anyway, these colors are not going anywhere anytime soon. So people don't have to feel like they're panicking. And next week is going to be really fun because we both have sock patterns releasing the same day that the yarn is available on Bien Aimée's shop and in our shop. So next week is fun. Sign up for our newsletter, you guys. We'll do our
I do have one other thing to add before I forget. We were able to add some fluoro morganite minis. So those will be arriving with our order for next week as well.
Right.
So we have 100 minis to go because that's my pattern. My sock pattern has the mini. Tracie's is one skein of sienna.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So if you wanna make a sock set, you'll have to add both of those items to your cart, and it's easy. We'll have them all. We have enough.
Yeah.
It's a great combo. Your socks are ridiculously cute. I love them so much. Okay, should we get on with some knitting?
Yeah. You know, there's one thing, Star and Carson.
Yes.
Please get, I just want to tell you, I have Carson's email and I think we might have Star's too, but please reach out to me through the Grocery Girls email. Just reach out and say, hi, I have something I want to tell you guys. So I'm only saying this right now because if I don't, it's gone. I will not remember.
Okay. For sure. I love that. So it's all good. It's all good in the neighborhood. It's very sunny today. It's very spring-like here in Edmonton, isn't it?
You guys,
it's well
like,
above zero.
It's the thought, not that it's not, it probably will snow again, but the thawing has begun.
I see grass in my backyard.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
Yes. Because you know what? When the weather gets warm, we can be together in your backyard.
You're right, Jodi.
Right?
And it'd be so gross. The backyard is like muddy and ugly this time of year. Who cares? We're going to set
on your
up
patio.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll wear a hat and a sweater.
Jodi, that'll be super fun.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. Because yes, in Alberta, you are still not allowed to mix households, and it's working. Our COVID numbers seem to be much less, and vaccines are happening, and
our parents, their arms fell off, but they're okay. They got their first vaccine.
They must think that we're just like totally neurotic. I kept texting them for like 3 days. So how are you feeling? Are you okay? Yeah. How's your arm? What's going on? They felt great. Other than it felt like a flu shot where you have a sore arm for a day and they feel 100% fine. So that's great.
They've grown a second hand, but 3 hands are better than 2, right?
Think of all the knitting you get done. Jodi Brown, you're so funny. Okay, who's got knitting? Who's got knitting?
Oh, you know what I did?
I can only imagine. Jodi! Oh my gosh.
So I'm kind of in between. It's so funny. I'm in between. I'm waiting for yarn to continue on for my sweater. So I feel like I'm in limbo right now and don't really feel like starting another big project. So I had this tube. Remember, I showed it. I think I was close, but then I finished them.
Okay, those are absolutely gorgeous. That's your To the Macks yarn in that tobacco road color?
Tobacco rose, yeah.
Oh, rose. Okay, that is gorgeous. So tell me, did you make those for yourself or are you gift knitting? Are you thinking about putting things away?
I thought these were gift knitting.
Are they?
Yeah.
Gorgeous. That's so nice.
Just, can you believe it? It's my first gift knit.
Jodi, I can't even believe it. You haven't been knitting socks for a long time. And I feel like designing a pair of socks has sparked a new thing for you.
Okay. Yeah. You know what, Tracie? That's it.
Yeah.
When I hand knit those socks, I got back into thinking, I loved it.
We do. I mean, we've loved them for a long, long time. But it's crazy. So, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. I've got a renewed love of sock knitting.
Good. So what's next on the needles for socks for you? I have socks that I finished too.
Show me.
We both have sock talk. Okay, so, oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm just going to respond to my kid who just texted while you talk about your socks.
Sure. So these socks are a good news, bad news situation. And I would love to know what you think. I think I know what you're going to say, but that's okay. Gosh, it was in October that I started this Selbu sock class. Jodi, I have a pair.
Are you impressed with yourself?
I am these to me are like, should I just hang them on a wall because they're so beautiful? Like,
yes.
I actually wasn't sure they would fit. And I actually thought that I was going to be knitting them as a decoration because I've never successfully knit colorwork socks that fit. These fit me like any other pair of socks in my drawer. And I
What
guess
size
that's
needle did you use?
2.5 millimeter needle. But you know what? Here's the thing. We swatched. So that was my swatch in the round where you
Oh,
cut
that's
it.
like a little cup cozy.
And it makes a cup cozy. This
Do you
is
use
like
it?
right. Yeah, now I'm going to use it. It was just in my project bag, but now I will use it. And it's actually such a good idea, Jodi. This would be the cutest little gift for a knitting friend to do a little series of swatches like this.
I'm jealous. I love it so much.
I'll make you one. I'll make you one. It would be like a total treat to make one. So
I
the
would love
class
it.
I took is from the Knitography website. It's by Patricia. She's got a whole slew of online classes these days. But let me show you. So I knit one sock fairly quickly with the class, and then Christmas knitting happened. So I'm not Christmas. I stopped and put them aside. I had knit the second sock down to the heel turn.
I remember you were quite close.
Right. So I just needed to knit a foot. And I did that. I did that Sunday. Sunday, I finished the whole foot because I love knitting color.
You know, I've been so monogamous these last couple of years on my knitting. I feel like it's, I mean, and I think, I don't ever think, oh, you've got a lot of projects on the go, but it's kind of nice to be able to put something down and pick up a totally different project.
It totally is. So I agree. I love having these little accessories on the needles as well as like a sweater. So because they totally, like a stockinette sweater is a totally different type of knitting than following a chart for whatever. I'm loving the color work. I feel like I could go crazy and knit color work everything, but I also love, you know, mohair stockinette sweaters so much.
Oh.
So here's my pair.
Oh my God. Laura has a question. Did you do anything special for the colorway sections so the yarn doesn't get too tight? Well, the whole thing is color work, right?
The whole thing is color work. So
yeah.
I swatched. The only thing I did was swatch. Jodi, look at these socks. Do you see the mistake?
God, yes, the thing in the middle, the triangle in the middle.
Okay, so I had finished knitting up to here, and then I'm starting my gusset and foot. Jodi, I started at the wrong spot in the chart.
I'm only seeing it because you asked. No one will ever see it.
I feel like it's busy enough that you can't really see it. So I knit the whole gusset, like this whole section, this whole chart. So those are your longest rows of the whole sock. So I finished
to rip it out and start over.
I finished this flower chart and I was like, Java, look what I did. Like, look what I did. And honestly, for about a minute, I considered ripping it out, but I thought to myself, that's ridiculous. It's not super noticeable. And I'm not knitting these to make them perfect. These are my first ever socks like this. That's not what it's about, to make them perfect. It's never my knitting goal to make things perfect. Right?
Yeah.
So I just continued knitting and I still love them. But I guess the lesson is, if you're going to put something away, write a little post-it for yourself.
I'll remember.
Start on row, whatever. Because this was in my bag for about 2 months. And I did check the last round of knitting. Like, I'm looking at the color work and there's lots of these rows that are like 3 white, 1 green, 3 white. So I checked and I was like, oh yeah, I know. This is the row for sure. This is where I start. Never even noticed.
Okay, so I think Laura's question is, do you have any tips for color work? And we've talked about this a lot. My number one tip that I learned in late 2020 is make sure the stitches on your right needle are spread apart.
Yeah.
That way, when you bring your yarn around to make the float, you've given yourself some room for your float.
It's totally true. And I would never knit color work if I'm stressed, because believe it or not, your knitting is tighter when you're stressed. So be relaxed when you're knitting your color work. But honestly, swatching, whether you're a tight knitter or a loose knitter, swatching is just figuring out your tension. So it just tells you, do I need this size needle and this number of stitches? Just do the swatch. Don't skip that step.
Yeah.
But as you're knitting, Jodi's right, spread out your stitches on your right hand needle so your floats are a decent length. Because I tell you, I'm shocked beyond belief, but these fit just like any other sock that I've ever knit. So I'm totally going to knit more of them.
Those are a work of art.
Aren't they cute? I use the
I'm starting, I said this last time, I'm starting mittens this weekend.
Jodi, you should. I really do love it. So the yarn I used was actually a kit from Patricia's farm shop. She's in Norway and she's carrying some of the Rauma yarn. This is the traditional.
Can you remind
can't
us who
pronounce-
Patricia is?
Oh, yes. So Patricia is a designer and knitting teacher living in Norway, and her website is called photographyfarm.com. I'll for sure link it. But through 2020, like normally she would be traveling to European fiber events teaching. And then in 2020, we're all staying home. So she started a video-based class. She started with a Selbu mitten class. And she's been trained by Selbu knitters in Norway in the traditional historical way to do these projects, certified as that. So she's teaching whoever wants to learn. And I love it. So I've taken.
You've taken every one.
I haven't done the sweater, but I've taken 3 different classes with her. I'm in the middle of the 3rd one. She does live Zooms. So if you have any questions, you can show her your knitting and get help. And there's a blog. You can ask questions anytime. And the videos are just there for you to access when you have time. There's no pressure to keep up at a certain pace. I love it.
You know what you should do?
relaxing.
You should take a whole bunch of ends on your live Zoom, like halfway through, like a whole bunch of ends, and like mat it into a ball and say, where have I gone wrong?
Oh my God, you're too funny.
Oh, your colors are beautiful.
So this yarn is toothy natural wool. It's twisted very tight though, and it is typically what they would use for this kind of socks in Norway. So I wanted to try it one time. But if you're going to be doing these kind of patterns, I would definitely say use natural wool. It's not going to be the same in a superwash sock yarn.
No,
so,
I have lots of Brooklyn Tweed balls.
Or Susan B. Anderson's Barrett wool. I have lots of that. I totally use that to make these. If you don't have
High Country wool.
Yeah. This is it's also super affordable. Like I had 2 white and 2 green. I did not even use. I have tons. So it's very affordable. I think yarn for this
scraps.
Anyway, we'll see. Jodi, if you want a pair, I'll knit you a pair.
No, don't. That's a lot. You know what would be really fun is to find a yarn that's color changing. Have one solid yarn you use throughout, like your green. Yeah. But then as it changes.
For sure you could. Those Zauber balls, those with the long color changes would be amazing, because they're a wool nylon. They are a superwash yarn, but they're still pretty. You could use one of each, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be really cool, Jodi. I love that idea.
I do love that idea too.
Fun. And then the sock blockers were also from Patricia's shop. She's got this.
Is that where you got mine?
Yes.
Oh, look.
We're twinnies.
So you gifted me these. No, she gifted me these.
Patricia gifted you those, yeah. So she's got a farm where she's raising a flock of these Norwegian sheep that are kind of endangered or something. They're trying to build up the numbers. So I love that. It's pretty fun. It sounds like
so is that yarn? Does she shear the sheep and make it into wool?
I don't know if she shears them herself, but it is, yes.
And does she make it into yarn?
Yes.
Oh,
beautiful.
Just to sell?
Yeah, she sold. There was an update, Jodi. It wasn't fast enough. But it's beautiful. Yeah.
There was something the other day that was sold out, and I thought, damn. I don't know. I can't remember what it was.
I always think that damn, and then like, oh my gosh, get a hold of yourself. But still,
a little bit.
You want what you want. Have you?
Well, and I know your love of different fibers and more natural. You have a real love for that. So
I do.
That would have been pretty special wool to get your hands on.
It is definitely, it's toothy, but let me tell you, once you washed it transformed not into super soft, but it definitely changed to be softer.
I'm going to tell her you were devastated you didn't make the update.
She's actually, I'm assuming with all of these classes and that she thinks, she's able to buy more sheep and to have a bigger flock. And so there will be more yarn. So, it's all good.
That's exciting.
It's all good. I'm just so happy to see, someone doing so well. Of course, you're always happy to see someone doing
Oh,
what their passion is, right?
oh yes, because you can feel the love behind what those makers do, right?
Totally.
The kind of the farm to needle, the whole behind has the animal
Yeah.
patterns, all that. It's
Well,
pretty
could you
amazing.
imagine having your own little flock and you've named them all and you tend them and care for them and have like relationships with them, and then you shear their wool and knit something that you love to wear or that your family will wear? I think it's kind of just a really neat thing. I just like
Yeah,
it.
that's amazing. Yeah.
So in another life, maybe that will happen for me, but it's all good.
Okay.
What have you been
So
knitting?
I cleaned in my office, which meant I had to deal with yarn, which meant I had to go through. It was an ordeal.
You cleaned your office?
Yes. Well,
Wow.
and by clean, I mean I got the stuff underneath my desk that I'd like put in bags or boxes and tucked under that I hadn't needed to deal with.
Sure.
So I came and I went through all of my yarn in my bedroom, like put it on my bed, really looked, was it here last time? Do you think I'll really use it?
Yeah.
Or would it be better if I donated it? Mackenzie has a friend that's an avid knitter that it's just not in their budget. I passed them
Ooh.
along to them. And I also, the senior center up the street loves yarn donation. So
did they take your yarn? Did you do that recently?
Yes.
They will take it now? Because I think at one
sorry,
point
I actually haven't got, are they not taking it right now? The bags are in my car.
I don't know, Jode. I feel like maybe now they would, but at the beginning of COVID, they wouldn't.
Okay.
Because I also have, I would love to donate.
Yes.
Also pass some through Mackenzie as well.
No, they've got a lot from what I just did.
Oh,
like
okay.
A lot.
Because I've been thinking of a destash or a donation or all of that stuff, right?
Yeah. So I love to donate it. So all this to say,
yes,
I started a granny scrappy blanket.
No. Again.
This is Tracie. This is very different. I have the, okay, you know what, the other one, it's too thin. I'm using like a
You're like,
no.
You did that one? No. Okay.
No, because the yarn was squeaky on my needles. It's not all wool, and not that I'm against it because I've knit with tons of acrylic, but this blend for some reason is squeaky and I can't do it.
Right. Oh, stop it. Jode. Okay. So are you doing just one big square? Like you're just going to keep going and going?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought I would do.
Oh no, I like this.
And then what I'm going to do is use one like dark gray to attach them all.
I love it. Oh my gosh. So tell me, these are all like little leftovers from socks and stuff you've knit?
Yeah, some are bigger than others. I have a basket like this.
I can only imagine.
Right?
I've got little bits and bobs if you want them. Are you double stranding?
It's more like a double worsted, like it's 4 fingering or 2 fingering in a worsted. I'm using a 6.5 needle crochet hook. Yeah, bulky.
Jodi. That's like, okay, first of all, so beautiful. How many squares have you done? Ooh, I love that one.
I just started. I'm doing a square a night. Look at that pinky red. Yeah, it takes me about 3 hours to do a square.
Ooh, I super love that one. Okay, so tell me.
Do you remember this color?
Stitch
Mischief.
Oh, yes. Okay, so tell me, Jode, what's your plan? I feel like there's neutral bright, like a neutral.
That kind of just happened. I'm kind of just going like a color and then I'll do a contrast and then that dark, I needed a light and then I needed a bright, and sort of that's how it's evolved.
I love it.
My first one.
Ooh, Jodi, it makes me want to learn how to crochet.
I can't tell you how much fun I'm having. And then this is what I started late last night. I didn't get to the whole thing.
Oh, I love it. So, oh my gosh. So are you doing 2 colors and double stranding?
Yes.
2 colors
on every one.
Okay.
Two kind of contrasty complementary,
I
if that
love the
makes any
marl
sense.
effect.
And then like this one here, I loved the one skein, how it had so many like aqua and
Oh,
colors,
yes.
but then I held a neutral with it because I wanted
Jodi,
that
look at all
color to
those
shine.
ends.
Well, the thing with these ends though, is when you attach a new color,
Yeah.
I crochet with that end. I double, so it's lock. I will go back and lock it in a little bit more,
Yeah.
but it's not as bad as you think. I think before I get too far, like after 4 squares, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go back and weave in ends.
I should have asked. Now I have another question. I wish I had asked Amy, because in our conversations with her, she told us she's a process knitter. Like she
Oh
loves the
yeah.
swatching. She loves the weaving in of, like she said, she never has to finish anything. She's not doing it
Oh, isn't
for
that
the
funny?
shawl or the sweater or the whatever. She said it's totally like the process of the stitch, the process of the swatch. So where was I going with this? But I do feel like what you're doing with all of those colors and the weaving in of the ends, that can be like one day when you're just sitting there listening to your favorite podcast, quickly weave in the ends, but it's relaxing. Like it doesn't have to be this burden of weaving in ends.
I've never disliked ends or thought it was like a chore that I didn't love.
Me either.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's fun.
I mean, I
but
tend to do it as I go. I tend to be a weave in as I go.
I usually do it at the end.
Yeah.
Anyway,
like even now you could weave in the ends on those squares and they're done.
That's what I'm going to do. I think after 4, before it feels like too big of a job.
Yeah.
Actually,
where are you anticipating that your blanket will be?
4 by 6, maybe 24-ish, right? Not giant, but not just a lap.
Jodi, it's going to use up so much yarn. So is it eating through your scraps? It must be.
Well, surprisingly, I haven't used the same ball more than once. I thought I would be using more, to be honest. It doesn't look like I've put a dent in it.
So these are all just balls that you had wound from previous projects.
Yes, but I went through all my minis. I do have probably 25 minis that I picked that I love, that I will end up winding and using.
Good. And what are you going to use to join it? Like you'll just get, you know what's really, there's that great, there was something at Michael's that was like a superwash wool, like all wool, but it was superwash.
Yeah, I don't want to buy like an indie. It's going to be too pricey because I'm going to need several skeins.
Right. I feel like a really nice gray or something like that. Black would be so pretty, Jodi. And it would look really, really good on your couch because your couch is so dark. The black would look really nice. You'll find something.
How amazing is this yellow?
I love it. I love it so much. I feel like every last round, you know, if you know you're going to butt it up against black, I would just pick like the brightest.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Right? It would be really cool. Like only if you know what you're going to join them with.
Actually, this last one, if you can, I don't know if you can tell, but it was a self-striping held with a neutral. It goes into green and then light green and then peach over here. You can't really tell.
Jodi, that's so cool.
Yeah, you know what? Just the joy of revisiting these colors and marling them together. And just, it's mindless. Listen, I started with crochet. Crochet doesn't always get the credit it you know, more people knit.
It's so ridiculous. I don't understand that.
But let me tell you, it's so much fun to do this project.
I love a project that makes you feel like that lets you play with color, and that it's going to be a functional, practical item that you guys will have forever. Mm-hmm. I love everything about that, what you're doing. I think it's gorgeous.
I did I'm going to link it in the notes because I don't have it with me. Just to refresh my mind, I just wanted to remind myself of how to get here because it's been so long. So I will reference the free pattern that I looked at. Actually, I think the free pattern just kept going.
Right.
Bigger and bigger. I thought sometimes those rows can be daunting, and I wanted to keep each row. I'm doing 2 rows of each. Like if you can see, it's 2 rows. I wanted them to be all the same color, because if you got really big, you'd have to be switching colors, and that's just not what I wanted for this.
I do have a dream of a crochet blanket, and it's a little more like planned, but I'd like to do one of those corner to corner ones. So you're doing like V's of color, but like in a gradient, like use all the blues together and then move to greens. And I would love to do that. But Jodi, I literally have 0 crochet skills, and I should make it a point to learn that because I wanted to make one of those forever.
Listen to this.
Because we're talking about crochet,
it's one stitch. You chain with your crochet hook, and it's 1 stitch. That's the skill you need.
Okay.
And actually with this, you guys, you're not going into a stitch, you're going between, because after this 3 double crochet, you chain 1, 3 double crochet, chain 1. So you're going to be going into, you're not having to find any stitches you need to go in. You're going in. It couldn't be easier.
Okay.
You can teach yourself in a weekend to do this.
Okay. That's exciting and tempting all at once. Because you're talking about crochet, I wanted to share this with our viewers. So, honestly, did you just fall over when you saw this?
Well, first of all, my first reaction was, OMG.
Yeah.
That's ridiculously cute.
It's art.
It's the likeness is uncanny.
So there is Adela of Lola Bien Yarn Company and her sweet Lola right there in the picture. And then Crafty is Cool on Instagram. She makes crocheted portraits, I would call them. Are they not like dolls, but they're, so then I went, I was unaware of her. I did not know of her talent.
Yeah.
She's ridiculous.
I already followed her because I'm obsessed with her dolls.
Jodi, it would be amazing to get one of her pieces. So that was Billie Eilish. She does lots of stop it. Amanda Gorman.
Like, are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. I literally can't even. So I will link her Instagram in our show notes. But you're right, Jodi. The detail, like the detail she puts in them. Kamala in her white. Oops, that's a video. Okay. How cool is that?
Before you hold that thought for one quick second.
Yeah.
Shorty Pete wants to know if I go back, if you turn your work in this crochet project. No, you just keep going around and around. Okay, can we just talk about Kamala Harris going to the damn yarn store in Washington?
Okay, so yes, we can talk about that. So
hold for the vice president. Hold for the vice president. She's entering the yarn shop. Do you think they got a notice?
Saw the pics and thought to myself, what's the process? Like, so like somebody's obviously got a sweep through and the notification. They knew because everybody was like, what am I going to wear that day? So just yesterday, she was at the Fiber Space in Alexandria, Virginia. And it was all about something about women-owned businesses and how you've pivoted through COVID and how you've handled things. I believe that's sort of what it is.
And she's a crocheter.
Is she? Because I haven't figured that out.
She said, I can't tell you how many Afghans I've crocheted. Doesn't that make your heart happy?
I said to Jeff, like, I get such a rush of adrenaline to see things like this. Not only that their business was recognized and you hear such good things about it, but just the craft. being shared at such a level, and that someone in such a high stress life is also using crafting to probably manage stress and give gifts. And I don't know, it just made my day to see it.
I'm sure time is limited. I'm sure the vice president isn't maybe crocheting so much these days,
Yeah.
but just
Who
to
knows?
someone, it's a very small industry, you know, not a lot of people do it. And I think more than ever now, the numbers are probably, I mean, with this last year, people have been home and picking up needles and crochet hooks, but just the idea that she chose a little yarn store
Well, I
to
think it's
step
close.
into.
Like Alexandria, Virginia, I don't think is far from Washington, D.C., but
Hmm.
still, yes.
Right.
Proximity.
Like she could have picked a coffee shop. She could have picked a clothing store. She could have
Yes.
picked anything.
Yes.
So I love that.
So Fiberspace is really cute. They got this. I followed them for a long time, and their building is really cute. Like it's blue, but look at this outdoor crafting space. This is like this is a sheep, like a big metal sheep sculpture. And this is their patio.
That in their yard?
Yes.
Wow. So they could be knitting now outside as a group.
Oh, maybe. But I just thought it was really, really a cool building. And I've always thought to myself, if I ever find myself near there, I'm going to go there. It's great. I'm so happy to see people enjoying and a business like that having some in the spotlight. It's very exciting.
Love that.
I do
so
love it.
Fun.
More
Excuse
knitting,
me.
or it's my turn?
I feel like I've been talking a lot about myself and my knitting.
Have.
Do you have something to show?
It's been good. Sure. So in my little yellow hokey bucket, which also color therapy makes me very happy. Yellow is a very happy color. Like I said, I've been doing Patricia's advanced Selbu mitten class, and I showed you my cuffs last time. But on Saturday, I was like, I'm going to finish my mitten.
It's so good.
It's pretty, right? So
wow.
The pattern is called, and it's funny because I chose this color combo because I've been knitting a lot of gray and soft colors, and I was like, I want a punch of color, and that's how this got chosen. But so this pattern's a little bit different because there was quite a few less stitches in the cuff, and then you increased for the body. Let me tell you, it fits like it tight? fits not tight, but like snug, so that if you're outside, there's nothing getting down. Like snow, I mean,
there's nothing worse than getting stuff down your mittens,
right? Well, down your pants, or your back. Yeah. So it was super. It's a really nice pattern to knit. And remember last time I said the pattern gives you one chart, and then you just have to flip it yourself.
I just said,
and you're like, well, can't you just mirror that and take a picture and mirror it? And that reminded me that I did supposedly learn that. Jodi, it's perfect. I did exactly that. So that's my next mitten. I did that. So amazing tip. Thank you. So
you're welcome.
You're brilliant. Don't even bother with the classes because you know everything. Okay.
Totally. I can teach it.
Okay. But I just thought they were really fun. So the next one will be the other half of this snowflake star.
Okay, that's what I'm loving. I mean, I see a Selbu pattern and I'm just in awe of the beautiful motifs, but this is so pretty when you put them together, and it makes a pattern.
So this pattern is by a Norwegian designer, and he's knitting the same structure, the historical, everything is Selbu historically, but he's a modern designer. So he you can tell it's not a mirrored pattern in the cuff. It looks, actually, I thought I screwed up the cuff because it's very different looking. You probably did. The motifs are like the star is traditional, but the way he's presenting it is more modern. So I thought it would be fun to pick colors that were not traditional too. But the fuchsia and blue, the blue is like the color of my winter coat. And the fuchsia is pretty. The fuchsia is just, I love it.
Oh, you love that hot pink. Love it.
I do, Jode. I love it. And it's the Rauma Phenol PT2. And it's a sport weight wool. It's similar to the other one I just shared, but it's heavier.
So now do you have another one to knit? Are you still in this class?
I am.
Okay.
So I have this cuff, but honestly, one full day of knitting and I had a mitten. So I could finish this weekend.
I love that. Are you thinking about transitioning your knitting right now with spring coming?
I hope so, because
no, but like maybe something like a t-shirt.
Yes. That's why when I was saying to you about my advent calendar, like it would be really cute to knit a t-shirt now. And actually this Comfort Fade Cardi is going to be, I'm thinking about how long do I really want my sleeves? I might not do full length sleeves. I might do them like 3/4 and have it something that, you know, you could just have a t-shirt on underneath, sort of transitional.
Sure.
Like shorter, boxier, and not super long sleeves.
Well, and I love the idea that you've knit more than one sweater and you can kind of customize it to, you love where Andrea's gone with a pattern, but there's a few things you might just tweak to be what you want it to be.
I mean, I love the reverse stockinette. I love the fade. I love the colors.
Yeah.
But that's the whole, I think, point of knitting your own clothes is to make them exactly what you want, what works for you. So if there's a super long one, it may be cozy, but it may not be your favorite thing. So you should feel more than free to adapt these patterns any way you want.
I agree.
It's just when you go off the path, like the designer is leading you through their version. So if you're going to go off the path, you're kind of on your own, right?
You're up shit creek without a paddle. Yeah.
Just don't be expecting them to do all this extra, like, you know, I want it to be short and boxy. How can I do that? No, that's not, you're going to have to figure that out for yourself.
So we love author Kristen Hanna.
We do.
She has a new book that just came out. Have you read it?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
I'm about 25% through. I love it.
Do you love it?
What did you think?
I thought it was super interesting because I did not know, like, historically, I think it's based on.
That's what I'm loving.
Yeah. So I did not know about that era in that amount of detail.
Like it's the Great Depression.
It's a story of hardship.
Yeah.
Hardship. And it's beautifully told. And the characters are amazing. So
if you're familiar with Kristen Hanna and her writing, she doesn't disappoint. I mean, I love her storytelling. They're beautiful stories.
I do too. At the end, I thought to myself,
don't spoil it.
Yeah, let's talk about it later. But I did feel like it was the characters were amazing and it was just really interesting. I'd never read anything like that. Let's just say that. But very well told.
Yeah.
And so before I forget, I wanted to share these socks that I shared with you guys. They were included with my course, but Patricia has actually made a pattern book. So she's got 7 different patterns in her Selbu sock. Well,
did you bind it?
Yes. So it's an ebook. So you get a beautiful file with 7 different patterns. One of the things I love about her patterns is she gives you 2 charts for every pattern where she switches up the light and the dark. So you don't have to think to yourself, oh, I actually want a dark there instead of a light there. She gives you 2 charts. So you don't have to do that. I love that because it makes it easy, knitting easier. But it's 7 different patterns in multiple sizes, all Selbu socks. And
you finished this. No, I got a question about, what do you think about including a chart with no color so that the knitter can color in with their colors they're using?
Well, you for sure could. Like you could print the chart that's white and black. And if you're using like purple and a dark color or whatever, you could use
Yeah.
pencil to color it in for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes the visual is nice.
Usually with color work, you're using with a bright or a light and a dark. So
Got it.
you can for sure do that. I've done that before
Okay.
where I've colored in charts. But she's donated 15 ebooks to our podcast, to Ravelry.
That's
So
very generous.
I feel very organized. Last night I put up 2 giveaway threads. One is for the sell their book. I know. I don't even know who I am anymore. But Patricia is also running a stranded knitting class. Whether you've ever done it or want to learn from scratch, or if you know the basics, but you just want to get deeper into it and learn tips and tricks, it's kind of for anybody. She's donated 8 classes, like for 8 students to take her course for free. She's donated that. So there's 2 giveaways in the Ravelry group already up. We'll draw names next week. I just think that's so generous. And I think a lot of people are at home looking for things to do and things to knit. And we're always so grateful when people offer these kind of things to us.
There's so much. I haven't taken a class from Patricia, but I just know from experience, and these online ones, they're not in person, but you guys, they're the next best thing.
They really are.
Yeah.
And you can, I absolutely, you know, I look forward to getting that email saying your class is up. And, you know, I always have a coffee and I sit and I'll knit as I'm watching it. And then she guides you through. I have to say, it's incredibly thorough and she's very like relaxing to listen to.
You do need to speak Norwegian because they're all in Norwegian, but regardless, you can follow along.
Just a little. No, she's super, super, super relaxing. And let me tell you, she answers every question. And you get to do it in your jammies at home. I just can't love that anymore.
Linda just said she is in that class presently, the stranded knitting, and is loving it.
I'm not surprised to hear that. I'm really not. So I'll link her shop and you guys can read about classes that she is offering. But you can take them whenever you want to. Like she'll have if you don't feel like you can take it right now, she said, that's not a problem. Anybody that is winning this, you get to choose when you want to start.
Right.
So really nice.
Love it.
So I think that's fun.
You know, we've said this before. It wouldn't matter what they were teaching as long if a fiber craft was offered, sign me up, surprise me. Tell me when to show up and surprise me with what I need because they're so much fun.
I totally agree, Jode. I'm game for pretty much anything. Those classes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to take more needle punch stuff.
I can't tell you how much I loved that class.
I loved that. You guys, this needle punching could not have been easier. There's really a very small learning curve. Yeah.
Like once you kind of are shown and start, you know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. But the mosaics, Tracie, I think we should buy some supplies and do it.
I have some. And let me tell you, if you've got, yarn,
I have a punch needle.
Right? I game, Jode. I even bought some fabric. And we've got the hoop from our class. So I can give you some fabric and we can, and they used, so we took that class from Arona of Buku and she liked using rustic yarn. So like Lopi and non-superwash wools and stuff. And boy, did it make such cute little loops.
I thought we used a lot of Malabrigo Rasta.
It wasn't that heavy. It was definitely.
Mine is. No, totally.
Rasta's very thick. It's
it was like roving almost.
Okay.
Not roving. Anyway, you can get different needle size, right? And use different.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can use down to fingering weight yarn, like if you get the right size punch needle.
No.
But we were using like worsted Aran.
Thicker.
And it went.
It was beautiful.
It was
just
fast.
Beautiful. Yeah.
and very therapeutic, like punching this thing in and out.
Yeah. I
Oh
feel
my
like
God,
I'm surprised I didn't stab my leg, if I'm honest.
well, you're not
But
done
regardless,
yet. So
right. You know what I didn't do, you guys? I have a piece this big and my whole hoop that I didn't finish that class, and I've never finished
finish
it.
it and show us next week.
Yeah, I don't have it's white. I'll find something that'll work with it. Yes, I will. I'll do it.
Okay. No pressure. But
I know
it
where
better
my
be
needle
done
is.
next week. Huh?
I know where my needle is. I know where my needle is, actually.
Okay, good. I've
Yeah.
actually been thinking of that as gifts too. Like make a pillow or
Yes.
make a cute little, yes.
A pouch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, do you have any more knitting to share this week, or do you have
No, do
anything
you?
else? Nope. I don't have any more knitting. I was really happy to finish that mitten and that sock. And you know what I know our Comfort Fade Cardi's not coming for a couple of weeks. I've got in my brain that I should cast on a really fast sweater and get it done in between, like a love note.
What were you thinking? Oh, with what?
I have yarn. Well, I don't know, but something.
Oh, yes.
But that was like an 8-day. This love note was an 8-day project when I did it.
Yeah, do it. Do it. You're
I'm thinking
crazy
about
enough
it.
to do it. I would
I
do
do-
it. You're gonna
I
do
do-
it. If this is in your mind, it's gonna be cast on today.
I do have
Or
that
whenever
yarn
we get it.
You gave me Yellow Brick Road. I mean, I'm not kidding you. Yellow sweater has been on my brain for a long time.
For years.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I have yarn to show. Oh, okay. So this is exciting. So Robin of Rose Hill Yarn, who was our last collaboration with our knitiversary sock set. You guys remember how fun the color is. I should go grab one.
So beautiful.
I should go grab it. She dropped off she's weeks ahead of schedule, you guys. She dropped off the rest of the yarn. So anybody who had a pre-order, it is being picked up today.
Here's the socks. Wow, Jodi.
That's the sock set, you guys. And we did leave it. So there was about 20 some in the shop of each. There's a DK kit. There is this sock weight kit. And there's both in the shop. And once these like 20 or so of each listing are gone, they're gone.
Look at me. What?
Yes. Oh my God, that wasn't even planned.
So here's the DK with the 4 DK minis, and it's ridiculous. So they're both superwash merino nylon. So you could make super cute DK socks or a cowl or hat or whatever you want. And then the fingering weight and the mini. There's lots of little one skein shawls, but socks, it's really cute in socks too.
Okay, so let me just, while we're on this subject, I'm just going to very quickly show 3 new pom-poms, and that's all I'm going to talk about for our website today. But these pom-poms came in, and it was like, because I see them in a little, sometimes I get a full sample, but sometimes she gets several, and we get them in a little card, just a little swatch. You guys, these colors, I don't know if it's going to show it justice. But these are now listed. This is like a tealy blue, you guys. So that's in the shop.
Does it have gray color on the tips, or
it's like it's a nautical blue center with like a light teal on the edge.
It's so pretty.
Okay, there was that one. This stopped me in my tracks. This is like a midnight blue.
Yes.
And then this one, I'm calling it ivory, but it's kind of like a blushy.
Oh, I love that.
It's got a hint of black on the tips.
Oh,
that's
like a good neutral.
So I just wanted to show them because you guys, we're a lover of pom-poms, and these are amazing.
They really are amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's gorgeous, because I know the teal we used to have was such a favorite that we've been looking to replace it with something. This
leans a little, this doesn't lean as green. So it leans a little bluer, but it has teal. That hint of teal. Yeah.
Well, that would work.
Really, really pretty.
That is gorgeous. I got some yarn and actually a bag in the mail this week.
I got a few
What
things.
else? Oh my God, I forgot about something. Okay, you go ahead. I'll be right back.
Okay, so this was on Espastrico's Instagram, and we've talked about Shirley Bryan yarn. She has updates, and they go really fast because her yarn is beautiful. But this was on Espastrico's website, and I could not resist. I hope I don't even have it already. And
Jodi, you're so funny.
it's a 50-gram set, and it's real like kind of like not muddy in a bad way, but like dirty kind of
Yes.
browns and mauves and greens. And it has this really pretty blue.
Don't you love that unexpected blue with it? I love that.
Yeah. And there was a sample knit up, and I was all over it. These are one of those like great, this one's called Keep the Secrets.
So cute.
And Shirley Bryan does those beautiful like fades into different colors, you guys. She's so talented.
She's
and
amazing.
This is one of those. Yeah. 50 grams is all you need for me.
Well, now it's 70 grams with the mini, and you can get a lot of sock knit with 70 grams.
Yeah.
That's so funny that you got that.
Love
because
it.
Espastrico got me too.
Oh my God, they always get me. Oh no, on Shirley Bryan.
Shirley Bryan.
God, we're so predictable.
I feel like we're just like exactly. Anyway, this is another deconstructed fade in like the twins. So each one, but they go quite long. Lots of people are knitting each one as like a big long tube sock, but there's so much color change that if you wanted to make 2 shorter socks that turn out to be different colors, you can absolutely do that. This one's called I'm So Glad I Live in a World Where There Are Octobers, and it's very autumny. It's got peach and kind of purple and a toffee brown. I love
that so much.
Really pretty. And then I bought this one thinking Georgia and I could split this one. It's the same idea. It's called Holly Jolly Pajama Party, but it's like
I didn't see that.
Oh, then you and I can split it.
No, I'll get my own.
Doesn't care. She doesn't even know. I'll split it with you. But I thought we could make tubes, but you would get 2 totally different looking pairs of socks because the gradient goes from like blue through pinks and greens and everything to something else at the bottom. It doesn't repeat. Like you would get 2.
I'll get one. You keep it, because sometimes it's fun. We did that last time, and then I'm like, now I have 1 tube of right? I only have 1 tube.
No. We would split each tube. So we would both get the top half or the bottom.
Oh yeah, okay.
So, but I just thought, I mean, you can absolutely get 2 pairs of socks out of these.
Yes.
If you don't want really long socks. So that's hilarious that you bought Shirley Bryan, because so did I.
I just want to quickly, I meant to mention this when you guys were talking about it. You saw Tracie's beautiful coiled pattern book, Selbu pattern book. Tell us what you did. Because people are going to wonder, like, where do you get that?
So I printed it myself at home. I like flipping through a book. I really do like working from a book. So I printed this myself at home. There was actually a couple of pages I did not print. So if you print yours yourself, it may look different on the front page. I was running out of ink. But then I took it to Staples, and they punch it and they put like a plastic cover on the front and back, and then
show how you can like fold it back on itself now.
So it's just like a spiral bound now. So now I can work from it like this, lay it flat, and I'll work from it. I really do like working from paper. And the way I finished printing it, I had this picture of her sheep on the farm. I made that my back cover. Isn't it cute? Doesn't it look so cozy with the red buildings? I love it. So it was about $8 to have it done like this. And then I just
you will reference that and go to it a lot. So I feel like it's worth spending a few dollars. You've done this lots in the past.
Lots. And I mean, an ebook is a great way for a designer to present their work. Getting something printed is a lot of money. Like, this is much more accessible for everybody. I love that it is an ebook. And you can get an instant download. You can purchase this and start knitting immediately. So it is on Ravelry. It is on Ravelry. Anybody can go get this ebook, and I think you would love it. I
I
really
have
do.
some bad news.
No.
Espastrico's website is offline right now until they're confident it will
Yeah.
operate smoothly. Did you
Yes,
know that?
I did. They're doing some kind of a server update or something.
Got it.
So I
Okay.
don't think it should be very long, but they're doing some kind of something with their website. So yes, it is off right
You know
now.
what I was trying to do? Buy the Shirley Bryan yarn.
Jodi, I'm
whatever.
so surprised. Did you buy anything else?
Yes. Did you?
I might have. Yes, I did actually.
Okay, so if you guys, I don't know if we talked about it, but if you get the Magpie newsletter, you would have seen, oh, pardon me, you would have seen that they came out with some mini sets.
I knew you'd get those.
I
They're
did it.
so pretty, Jodi. Which ones did you get? The blue?
I'm just going to shift to touch because the sun is shining right on it and it's not going to give it.
What colors are in the mini set? Are they new colors?
This is the Siren mini set and it was calling my name.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
I don't know. It's probably on their website.
Yeah. Boy, those
so
are
now
cool.
I don't remember, but I think this came with it. Do you think it came with it or did I buy? Do they think they send this? It's called Siren Song and this is called the Siren Minis.
I
think it might have come together.
I don't think so.
No?
But
okay.
No. I think the minis were, and unless it was different online, but I think the minis were a thing themselves because they did a beautiful pinky mauvey gradient, like a also.
Yes. Loved it. Okay, so I'm thinking I might have to thank them or I bought this. I don't know. But you guys.
You know you have issues shopping when. No, I know. That's
this is what I went for.
Ooh.
Have you guys seen their newest? It's a little bit bougie. Tracie, you've seen this in person.
Yeah.
You have it, don't you?
Yeah.
So I got it in their Swanky DK and I also got it in their Feather, which is their 70 mohair 30 silk. This is the softest brownie pink ballerina slipper.
Yeah.
Not that pink. It's a beigey pink.
Like if you had bougie beaver, they are definitely very different colors. Bougie is quite a bit more intense in their color. This is like if they've added cream to the bougie, right? It's just so pretty.
Oh, can you imagine something in this?
Yes.
This color palette? Although this is fingering, I don't think it's like me to order fingering. I don't know.
It certainly goes with the minis. Like you could make something amazing with the minis.
This is their swanky sock.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I feel like I want to knit a sock in this.
Oh, Jodi, that's so beautiful.
Did you get the minis?
No, I didn't get the minis, but I do remember their Instagram post saying, you know what, we do not do minis very often. So if you are somebody said, Adela said the set came with a full skein. You bought it.
I bought it.
Okay, good. They don't do minis very often. So that was kind of a fun surprise.
Look at this color.
Yeah.
And then this color.
So beautiful. Oh, the speckles. What?
I can't believe you didn't buy. There was a bougie set.
Jodi, I just recently bought from Magpie. So it was just
Magpie's going to be having a bit of a beaver along. So we're going to be able to give you some more information soon.
Every skein they do, every update, it's just incredible. I love their yarn very much. Okay, so I bought another Canadian yarn that is grown, dyed, and milled out on Prince Edward Island.
Ooh, I love that.
Pretty sure that's where it's from. Just a sec. Hopefully I'm not screwing things up already. So yeah, it is. So they're Green Gable alpacas. Jodi, look how cute alpacas are. Like what? Who wouldn't want an alpaca?
I think we should get one for the backyard.
Why not? So I watched a podcast. Oh my God. I'm having like a total blank. What's
You
their
smell
name?
toast?
They're out on Prince Edward Island too. They have sheep. They have a yarn mill. I am so embarrassed to be forgetting.
Hinterland?
Anyway, they did an interview of the lady from Green Gable Alpacas. I'm going to feel like such an idiot. I can't even remember.
Take a
I feel
minute.
like I'm having a moment.
It's not Hinterland?
No, other coast of Canada. It's two sisters. This is so bad. Does somebody
Just a minute. Is someone in the shop in the
Fleece
Not
and
shop.
Harmony. Thank you, everybody. So it's the Fleece and Harmony podcast. They spin, so they've got a mill and they dye. So this lady has her alpacas and it's a ridiculously soft yarn. And then it's dyed and spun by the Fleece and Harmony, their mill. This is the color Wedgwood, and it's a maybe sport to DK. It's a 235 meters. Oh, more DK. I guess DK.
The color's beautiful.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah,
It
the
is
color's
so
beautiful.
soft. So soft. It would make such a beautiful drape, like a hat or a cowl, but it is 100% alpaca. And the interview was very interesting. Of course, this woman has quite a journey before she got to owning an alpaca farm. So I enjoyed the interview very much. I thank goodness somebody saved my bacon with the name there. Sorry about that.
Sometimes you just draw a blank. You've got so much in there, you can't access it.
Totally.
That's what I tell myself.
Right? Don't worry about it. It's normal. And she also had these cute little alpacas in her shop. So these are made, I think they're made in Peru, like with alpaca fleece.
Oh, I
this
love
is natural.
that.
I don't know. Aren't they so cute?
Oh, you can just put them on your shelf somewhere. Yeah. I love that stuff.
Super cute. So I bought those for the non-existent little office I'm going to have, but I love them. They were not expensive. They're just super cute little things.
Is there any plans on moving some space, crafting space to Jackson's old room?
Yeah, for sure. I need to organize stuff right now. It's got to be painted. There's actually a hole in the wall from moving. So Jeff's got to repair a little bit of drywall, but I'm going to paint it and get things organized. So I actually just said that to him yesterday. When are we going to start that?
What do you see that room being?
Well, I definitely need a desk. Like I need office space. I need a place to keep invoices and a computer and stuff like that. But I am going to be, yarn and maybe a little futon-y couch.
Like, do you see yourself setting up a space where you can always have a tripod and iPad there? Like, so you can just
maybe
literally sit down and start work. Right.
The problem, like I've told you before, the lighting is so bad in there. I'm going to have to get some new lighting, which is
easy to address.
It is, but it's going to be a great place to store a lot of stuff, right? To have like my knitting library instead of that being in a bookcase in my bedroom. Like it's just going to be able to consolidate my little fibery things as well as have this little bit of an office space for me instead of always being on my dining room table or whatever. So I'm looking forward to organizing. Oh, Jodi, good job. What did you buy?
I just bought the swanky sock in this little bougie beaver.
Nice.
Don't you see those together?
Jodi, yes.
Like these are all fingering minis. Like what if I used my minis with my full skein?
Why not? Oh, Jodi, that actually would be amazing. Very, very pretty. Yes. And it's a cashmere base, so it's super drapey and soft. It would make the best shawl.
God. No socks. I think they'll be socks.
What
if they were, or a cowl?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Held with mohair. Everything's better with mohair. Oh. Did you buy anything?
I did. What about you? Okay.
Yeah, no, that's it for me.
Oh, really? Okay, let me share a few fun Canadian dyers. Okay, Mike to the Macks yarn came. What?
It's fun.
Like totally neon coral. It's kind of showing up pink. It is definitely like corally, peachy, hot. I don't even know what I'm going to do. Maybe mittens. It's so beautiful. So beautiful.
That is pretty, isn't it?
Yes. Oh my God.
Excuse me.
Here it is. And
I just
then
burped.
the stunning sock set, the PB&J.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So there's those are in the shop as well as the other ones.
Okay, that's good news. Speaking of the bougie kind of color, like this is that
Yeah.
peak beigey,
I
pinky.
love that.
And the speckles are so lovely in this.
Yeah.
Love, 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 love. So that was really fun. And okay, do you follow Full Moon Fibers?
Yes.
Okay, so they're sisters, Allison and Jessica. They're out in Ontario. I didn't realize, but they've only been dyeing yarn for a year. And they had these really cool sock tubes in their shop. So they must have a sock machine. So they're cranking a sock tube in natural yarn and then dyeing it.
Oh, and then what are you going to do
like
with it?
a sock blank, but
yes,
it's really not. Like you make socks, you cut in heels and toes. You don't unravel this. It's like the opposite of a sock blank. So we take hand dyed yarn and crank a sock tube. They cranked plain yarn and dyed it hand dyed. So it came like this. Your set comes with this 100 grams of a tube where you cut in your heels and toes. And then this was the contrast color that went with it. So they're called Groovy Moon sock tubes. I think they were a giant hit. I don't know that they have any right now, but they're working on restocking the shop. And then when I was in there, they had this color that was like, what? Excuse me. I feel like
I did see this one. Yeah. Oh, you bought that.
It's
what's it called?
It's called That Cabin Life.
Yes.
And it's like, it's in that rose gold family with a smoky mauve
and not completely different than this.
Not completely different from that.
I think it's beautiful.
Jodi, it's so gorgeous. So that was fun. I've never bought their yarn before, but they're obviously super busy. They've got a bag business and a yarn dyeing business, and they have a podcast, and they must work together all the time. So that's fun. Young ladies out in Ontario.
Love that.
Yeah, I've never seen their yarn before. So I just thought this was interesting and different. And we love making socks out of tubes, right? So.
Wow, they're ambitious to do that. Good for them.
Yeah, this is a lot of work. Like this,
yeah.
To make this is a lot of work.
Yeah.
So it is
time, right? Time consuming.
Lots of time.
Someone was asking that hot coral color is, full moon is here right now. The hot coral was called Lollipop.
Yeah.
Lollipop.
And
there
really
is
hard
some
to photograph these kind of colors, right? Like it's
the colors in the picture in the shop does not do it justice. We've got to get some better photography lighting because it's really quite bright and pretty.
Yeah, neons are tough to photograph, but so satisfying. Honestly, like I got the mohair too, but I really just want to make something that I can wear like now, and I think that bright neon mohair would be super fun to hold with like a gray, make a marled hat or marled mittens. So
how fun is that?
I might be breaking them up. Oh my gosh.
You could knit a tube and make socks, whatever. Then you've got it really quick.
Yeah, I love it. It's a super fun color. I love it.
A new color that came to the shop this week. It was kind of an oopsie color. I wasn't following a recipe of a mohair I needed to re-dye.
Okay.
And then this color was born and I love it. It's called Sedona Sand.
Jodi.
It's kind of still in that family of, that other sock set you were showing, but it's got another color over top.
It's deeper.
And then the mohair took quite a bit deeper, but it's in the shop on fingering and mohair right now.
That's just incredible. That is screaming
Love
I love
note.
you.
Everything's
I love it.
every.
I love it.
This one's called Sedona Sand.
It's incredible. Look at the speckles and that tonal. That's beautiful. And that mohair is ridiculous.
Isn't it, you guys?
Yes, so beautiful.
Anyway, this is the only color that was added this week, but there's lots and lots of fun colors and in mohair and fingering and sport and the sport.
It's stunning, Jode. And so because, you know, I'm just like the biggest bag lady, I feel like I need a t-shirt or something in that. I was in the Wild Strands shop.
Yeah, you were.
Sarah is another Canadian maker, and she's just a sweetheart, and she always test knits my pattern. She's just the most lovely person. But I was, you know, she makes the most gorgeous stuff. So this is this that cotton and steel fabric? This is a wax canvas.
I think she waxes her own.
That sounded weird and rude all at the same time.
She waxes her own beaver. No. I think she waxes her own canvas.
We almost made it. I can't even say the word beaver without, I mean, I certainly don't talk about the animal. Okay. So her business is Wild Strands.
Put it down. Oh yeah, Wild. Nice. Love it.
It's great. So, but this bag has, you know, pocket on the outside, pocket on the outside, pockets on the 3 pockets on the inside. It's all beautiful canvas. And little rose gold.
Her bags are amazing.
She does a great job. Oh, there's her little logo right there. I was trying to find it. But I think I feel like this fabric is a sweater combination, like this peachy and navy and hot pink and minty light blue. Wouldn't you love a combination like that?
Yes.
So, but I mean, I just was always so happy she gets me, you know, between you and her, you guys make the most gorgeous bags. I love it. So I'm going to put some.
Oh, Sarah's here. Is her name Sarah Shaw? Sarah Shaw?
Yes.
She's here.
Well, hello,
Quit talking.
Sarah.
Oh, she said she does wax her beaver.
Oh, good. Great to know.
Now everybody knows Sarah waxes her beaver.
Hey, we all do.
It's so pretty. God, how did 2 hours and 15 minutes fly by?
Yes, it does. It totally flies by. It really does.
I'm loving this maker's spotlight.
It is. So next week, for people that are wondering, we have the pleasure of welcoming Paula of Mayak. I mean, I have mixed feelings of saying that now, because if something comes up and she has to reschedule, that's totally fine. I don't want people to feel like they can't, but we're at this point, that's what's happening. And I'm sure that's the way it's going to go. So I'm very excited. Very excited. We love what they do, and she's just a sweetheart. So it's going to be really fun to have a chat with her.
Yeah. Paula, I want to say Paola, but it's Paula. She has a lot to talk about. This woman is so interesting. Her story on how Mayak and what it's about and what it stands for. She's got something new to share and talk with us about. So I'm really excited to talk to her.
Lots of really fun things. She goes live on YouTube. They have a YouTube channel. So, and she hosts Zooms with, you know, designers, kind of intimate get-togethers. They're very, very busy over at Mayak, and they do lots of great community things. They went live on the weekend, and so I was like, oh, what's going on with them? So I hit the YouTube thing and joined them. It was their Mayak live in Italian, because she and her partner are both Italian.
Yes.
And so it was a live Zoom chat about their yarn and what they've been knitting, but it was all in Italian. And so I just sat there and listened. It sounded amazing.
Love it.
I did not know anything.
So Jenny asked about what is Mayak. It's Myak, and it's a beautiful line of yarn that she's cultivated. It's made in Peru.
Tibet. Fibers of Tibet.
Yeah.
I always
think
it's
really interesting.
Super interesting. I feel like I mean, so many people know about it, but maybe you don't. So it's going to be really fun to chat about that and share. They work directly with nomads in Tibet that are raising yaks and sheep and stuff like that. And we don't want to go too deep into it, but I find it fascinating and really unique in this world of yarn. So what they're doing, I think, is amazing, and it's really beautiful. So that's going to be fun. I'm really
That
looking
will be
forward
so
to
fun.
that.
Yeah. We can all learn a little bit more.
I don't
I think
know.
that's it.
I think that's it for me, for sure.
I'm just looking around. I'm sure. Oh, did we show these last week? You showed the bags. Did you share these? Okay.
I did, but share them again.
Tracie just dropped these off.
Oh, I know, Jode.
Are these are fingering weight?
Yeah.
God, her base is so friggin' soft.
She, I think, just recently changed it, so she'll be very happy to hear you like it.
She did, and actually she reached out and said she's so amazing. She's like, I just finalized this new base with the same yarn company, Amtex Yarn in Ontario. She said, let them know if you like it, that this is what you asked for if you want to start using it. Like, she's so amazing. And then I reached out after that and said, oh, they don't really have a traditional, what I consider DK. They have what we carry in the shop is sport. It's right in between sport and DK, but we wanted those extra 25 to 35 yards back, right? Less, right? So the yarn is so we're working with them to get a truer DK weight yarn. Oh, and she's just darn amazing, this woman.
Yeah, she's great. So Stephanie is the creative knitter. You can find her on Etsy. She makes bags, she dyes yarn, and this is all on this, like, she's got a 9-to-5. This is all on the side. So, but she's really, she's another lovely person that we've had the chance to meet. Long distance style.
Yes.
I'm sure at some point we'll meet up at like Knit City, Montreal, or something like that. So that'll be nice. Yeah, but people, I mean, her yarn is incredible. If you're thinking about, checking it out, I think it's stunning. I think you would love it. I know you would love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you like those.
The minis are amazing. Okay, you guys, I didn't want to show these because there's not very many, but I put a few zippered sock sacks in the shop.
Jodi.
Just a few. People were asking, and you know how these came about? I cut the fabric wrong, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this strip? Like, anyway, so it's just a little zippered wedge.
It's so cute.
Sock sack. There's not a lot, but there's a few.
Trolla.
Trollala. And I only have it in this. I will, you guys, when I give myself more time, probably next week, add more to the shop. So I'll try.
Well, I'm sure. I know how full your plate is.
Oh, Paula is here. Paula, I've got really personal questions I'm going to ask. You should be nervous.
Oh my gosh, Jodi. So here's the thing.
I'm just kidding.
I should wait and share when Paula's here, but I test knit Hohi's hipster shawl in Paula's yarn. I got it from Espace Tricot. It's the yarn Hohi used. It was my first time ever using her yarn. I love it so much. It has held up. You think something that's 100% yak, you think it's going to be so, like, it's like a cashmere where it's going to pill all the time. I want to talk. It doesn't do that. It is so amazing. It has held up so well. It's so beautiful. And the color, I would choose again tomorrow. But it's really interesting, I think. And then remember we saw Paula at Stitches West.
Yes.
And then that was the year that Jeff and I went to Scotland, and I saw her at Edinburgh Yarn Fest. I mean, it's just, they're always up.
Was she following you?
No, I think I was following her. She was there first.
Oh. I'll be wearing my Mayak shawl tomorrow.
Yeah?
No, next week. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
I'm hungry.
You're hangry? Don't get hangry.
Not hangry. I made a little sausage and pepper, heavy on the peppers, light on the sausage.
That sounds delicious.
Tasty Tomato up the street. I buy every time I get takeout, I buy a jar of their sauce. It's amazing.
I know. Do you use it right away or do you like freeze it or what do you do?
Well, do you know they put it in there hot, so it almost cans itself. Like it seals. It can stay for
Yeah.
weeks into your fridge. Now they've gone to a plastic container, which is easy to freeze. It's not going to last as long,
Right.
but I use it for pizza sauce.
Oh,
We're having pizza
so
on
good.
Friday.
Yeah, we're gonna do pizza on Friday too. And a good like crushed Italian tomato makes such a difference on your pizza.
Doesn't it?
Instead of those like over seasoned, I don't know. To me, it makes a huge difference. Like I want to taste the tomatoes, right?
What's the sauce that we love that I said was the best jarred sauce I've ever tasted? Stefano?
Made
Okay.
in Montreal.
If I don't have tasty tomato, I use Stefano for my pizza sauce.
Me too.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Or the tomato basil. Oh my gosh, stop
Ridiculous.
It. So good. Now I'm hungry.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to make something too.
Yeah.
Well, Jodi, we should both go and have some lunch and enjoy the rest of the day. I'm gonna.
Yes. I will send you show notes right now.
And our Bien Aimée yarn is here, but is not released through customs yet. So
it's
I have
in
to make
Calgary. Yeah.
So I'll try and figure that out so that we can all have yarn for next week. But I'm sure it's no big deal.
What day?
Thursday, Friday, the 12th, whatever day the 12th is. I think it's Friday, Jode.
Oh, good. So we can talk about it Thursday so people can, and don't panic. We'll order more. That's all I want to say. I don't like panic buying. I don't like updates.
No.
It's just going to land in the shop. There's not going to be a time. But we will we'll have a pre-order ready for when it sells out.
Yeah. And we bought a bunch of different bases, which is fun. So that's, it's not,
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. Have a great day.
This has been so good. I look forward to our backyard podcast coming soon, hopefully.
Oh, thank you, our moderators. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Tracie. We will see you next time.
Thanks for coming and joining us, you guys. Have a great week. We will see you next time.